Yes, good afternoon. Welcome to the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club for the third edition of the Bahrain Turf Series. This year, it is back bigger than ever before. More money, with each race now worth $80,000 plus bonuses at the end of the season, and more horses than ever before. We welcome 21 international raiders here at the beginning of the week, and this week it has all been about for those horses settling in to Bahrain life. So all 21 international horses then settled in very nicely in the quarantine stables behind us. And Nick, we're building up to well, this is our first fixture as part of the Bahrain Turf Series, first of 5 we're going to look forward to over the next sort of few months, 3 months or so, right through to the end of February. But before we sort of focus in on the 2 Bahrain Turf Series races we've got today, I think we should reflect a little bit on the Bahrain International Trophy, which took place just 3 weeks ago, the richest race ever run here in Bahrain, worth $1 million. And just how much did that race resonate around the world in terms of global racing?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. As you said, I wasn't here, but I did watch on with real interest. Spirit Dancer winning for Sir Alex Ferguson. I think it was a result that would have resonated. What are we talking, 5 years worth of the big race, the most valuable there's ever been. And it's not to discredit great global operations like Coolmore, Shadwell, Godolphin, etc. But when Sir Alex Ferguson, the man that can write the headlines, wins your big race, there was some kind of special buzz about it. And I think social media in particular was awash with credit for the great man.
It was an amazing result, and seeing his sort of unbridled joy at winning the race was fantastic. Yeah. Also, just the lineup in the race. You had 4-time Group 1 winner, Nation's Pride. Yeah. We've got Above the Curve for Joseph O'Brien. Before the race, it was set to be a fantastic one.
Yeah, I think so. And there would have been expectation that it needed to be a bit of a fanfare, didn't it? Going out to 110 different networks, taking it globally. So when you can have a result that will rubber stamp on the map like that and transcend the sport, because of course a lot of people know Sir Alex Ferguson outside of the world of horse racing, and to see his enthusiasm for winning it, he was talking a lot in the press building up to the race, and then of course interviews left, right and centre after it, can only have been a good thing.
So a real boost to Bahrain racing. We now move on to the Bahrain Turf Series, the third edition of this series, and very different. This is obviously for handicaps and about attracting as many international horses to come and be based here for the winter. As I said, we've got 21 this year. What do you make of the collection of horses we've got? Competitive.
Is that a fair comment? I think we've got some very good horses. I'm not entirely sure who I'm picking to win both of our races.
So the first year of the Bahrain Turf Series, the local horses, the local trainers absolutely dominated. Yep. Last year it was 50-50, so the international raiders won half of the races. What is, before we even start today, I feel like it's going to be a stronger year again for the international raiders. Definitely a classier bunch of international horses, I think particularly in the sprint division.
Yeah. The first race is the MUHARRAQ Cup. We'll come to the sprint race, that 2,000-metre race, where Lucanda was a bit of a standing dish winning this race last year, that big success back in February as well. You've got international appeal through the likes of Duc de Kent. There's also, of course, Mr. McCann, formerly of Great Britain, Royal Scimitar, that same thing. Simply Sondheim, who's a stable companion of Lucanda, you said it's been going really well. I think there's quite a bit of depth to it.
We'll focus in on those 2 races a little bit more throughout the afternoon, but the horses in the parade ring for our first race, because it is an 8-race card here this afternoon, and giving us all the details, let's hand up to Darren Owen in the commentary box.
Thanks, Sally. Thanks, Nick. Yes, a warm welcome to you all. Welcome to the start of the 23-24 Turf Series. And the amazing thing today is we've got no wind, or very little wind, only just a gentle breeze, around about 25 degrees. Those of you who don't know the race course here, it's a right-handed racetrack, around about 2,200 metres in circumference. And as the guys were saying, we are looking forward to the International Turf Series. Plenty of international interest, as well as local, and lots of new names among the runners and indeed the owners and trainers involved this winter. So let's have a look at what's coming your way today. And the first of our races coming up shortly. That's the race confined to the Arabian Breds over 1,200 metres. We move on to a 2,000 metre domestic Grade 3 contest. That is race number 2 on today's programme. Features last year's winner, Living Art. Third race of the day is the first of the Turf Series races, the MUHARRAQ Cup by TEXEL Air Lucanda. Brilliant winner of the race last year. 5.5 lengths was the winning margin. He's the defending champion. The fourth race is the first sprinting race of the Turf Series, the MANAMA Cup by BBK. Good field here. We have reserves running, Derrin and Edward Cornelius. They get into the lineup. That is the fourth of the races on today's programme. Then we move on to race 5, 1,000 metres. A domestic Grade 2 contest is race number 5. Race 6 is over 1,600 metres, locally bred thoroughbreds in action for our 6th race of the day. The Irish Thoroughbred Marketing Cup is the 7th race, 1,400 metres the journey there. Good field to line up there, 11 runners. And the last race is the longest race distance-wise on today's programme. It's over 2,400 metres. So plenty to look forward to, some competitive action. Let's have a look at the first race then coming up for the Arabian Breds. And today's Arabian Bred race over 1,200 metres. Note it's on the round course, the round 1,200 metres. Number 1, Kuhalen Weld Zorea, and Raheem Jassim takes the ride. Lolshan is number 2, and Adam Balushi. 3 is Tuwaisan Abdullah Faisal is the jockey. Number 4 is Al Saklawi M910, so we'll call it Al Saklawi 910. Hussein Asghar is the board here. Number 5 is Al Zaklawi 947 and Marcellus Jorez. On to the 6 horse. Number 6 is Krushan, and Krushan's partnered by Tapiwa Manzusa. 7 is Musanan and Anas Al-Siabi. 8, Obeyan, a regular in these races over different distances. Hussein Maki is the jockey. 9 is Al-Rabda and Ibrahim Nada, and 10 is Al-Saklawiya, and Mohammed Reda is aboard. So they are the Arabian Breds, 1,200 metres on the round track. Race 1 coming up.
So these Arabians then heading down to the 1,200 metre start, and you got the 10 runners in this race, and in your picture there is Kahalen Weld Zoreya, 1838, a winner, an easy winner last week under Abdurrahim Jassim, trained by Yusuf Taha, comes here with every chance, Nick.
Does seem that way. One of the horses for the stable has had that habit of finding maybe one or two too goods, or one too good on an occasion until last week. So that would have been a doubtless popular success. Took a little while to get going here behind Malolshan a couple of starts ago, the stablemate who's going to be here as well. But I would have thought, on what we know and the consistency, going to be one of the leading players.
Yeah, Malshan, 1865, also coming here off the back of victory back at the beginning of November. Adam Al-Balushi taking off a handy 2 kilograms, the Oman jockey. Arguably, though, Kahalen Wells Zoreya perhaps beat a little bit more last week. Malshan, 1865, also in the colours of Victorious Racing. And also want to notice horse number 8, Abayan, 1847. This running in the Al-Qadaya Racing Silks. Rosie Jessop's ridden the horse for the last 2 times, but Hussein Maki takes the ride for trainer Fauzi Nas.
Yeah, Abayan, who was run up here back on the 10th of November, back when last seen behind Al Hamdani, beaten a couple of lengths on that occasion. He'll break from stall 7, has got plenty of pace. And there is the horse, trotting down nice and calmly. A few of them got a little bit warm between the legs, but it is quite a warm afternoon, isn't it?
It certainly is.
It is.
It's a lovely
Pleasantly.
afternoon, yeah. And not too much wind, which makes a change here.
It does make a change. I've only been here a couple of times before, but that was one of the standing features I felt. But it's still today, there'll be no excuses.
It's warm, yeah. Those international horses that have come from the UK and Ireland, -2 conditions back at home, coming here to whatever it is, 25 degrees. I'm loving it, but it's going to be a bit of a shock to them.
Back home, there's inspections left, right and centre, be it for flooding, be it for ice, cold winds, whatever else, but no such danger today.
Runners just making their way to the starting point, just arriving down at the start. Just looking at a couple of the greys there for Al Mohammedia Racing. Number 5 is Al Zaklawi 947. Al Zaklawi 947 was down the field when last seen. That was back in February, so seasonal reappearance for that horse. And alongside is Musanan, number 7. Musanan, who was in action here a few weeks ago, unplaced that day, so he's already had 2 starts this winter, Musanan. And they are followed by Kahalen Weld Zoreya. There's Obayan, number 8. Obayan, who was second, only been a couple of lengths by Al Hamdani here about a month ago. And the grey and white is number 3, Tuwaisan. Tuwaisan was a winner in January. Tuwaisan, number 3 in the grey and white silks with Al Rabda up along the inside in the mainly white jacket, purple chevron. Has had one comeback run since having the summer off. Ended last season with a second-placed effort here at one of the last fixtures, and returned to action back in October when finishing down the field. That's number 9, Al Rabda. So the bulk of the field just arriving at the start now for this 10 strong lineup. Just a line on Tuwaisan. Tuwaisan beat Obayan by a short head when they met here at level weights in January. The red cap there on M. Lolshan. M. Lolshan was a winner in November. Remember, a French thoroughbred running in the 70s. She's running races like the Arc de Triomphe with the same name. M. Lolshan. Kahalen Weld Zoreya was a winner last week, so comes here in fine form. Beat Obayan by 3 parts of a length here last week. So runners now arriving at the start for race 1 over 1,200 metres.
So they'll be starting the loading process soon for this first race. And Nick, nice to see so many international jockeys here. And we've got jockeys from Oman, we've got jockeys, obviously local jockeys. We've also got a Zimbabwean jockey riding horse number 6. So a good spread, and quite a few British jockeys coming over to ride in the big races a little bit later. Billy Loughnane having his first ride outside of Europe. Nathan Cross and Rowan Scott. There's quite a good group here. And yeah, I guess it shows us the international attraction of coming to race here.
It is, and also on a day where the Dubai World Cup Carnival is going on over at Meydan. There's an appeal to be bringing in the international riders here, which is fantastic. And many of them are going to be associated with horses that they've tried, the British ones we're talking about, of course, who have tried and ridden back in the UK. So it's just the same horse, just a different experience altogether, bringing them out here.
Who do you like in this race?
I like the top horse. That is Cahalan Weld Umzaraya, who we were talking about, and has got that form with the stablemate Mloshan. And expert link, I thought it was, from Darren to link it back to a thoroughbred in the 1970s, that particular horse. That was very good indeed. But I think it might just be the top 2 who are going to be front and centre come the end of this race.
I think I agree with you. Perhaps a word also on MANAMA, who's going to be ridden by Anas Al-Siabi in the colours of Al Mohammedia Racing. Plenty of Al Mohammedia horses in this.
Yes, was behind a Bayan last time out on that return in November. And that was on the first run for quite some time, since the back end of last season. For MANAMA, horse number 7 was beaten quite a long way that day, but returns in distance. That was 1,400 metres, goes back to the sprinting trip on the round course here, the 1,200.
Runners now are loading the stalls for race number 1, the Arabian Breds over 1,200 metres on the round track. The first 4 have moved into place. We're looking at Tuwaisan now, about to go in, joined by M. Lolshan, who's got the red cap of Victorious. Obeyan is the next one to move into position. So the last few to go in, down to the final couple of runners now to move into position. Al Zaklawiya with the orange cap goes in, and we are set to jump at the 1,200 metres, race 1. So set to go. That's it, and they're off. Musanan gave him a bit of start, and one of the first ones away is Al Zaklawi 947, with Al Rabdar up along the inside, now being driven forward. Al Zaklawi 910, moving towards the end of the back. It's Al Zaklawi 910, moves into a lead of around about 3 lengths, being chased by Al Zaklawi 947. Al Rabdar is in third, with Kuhalen Weld Umzaraya positioned to the wide outside, tracked by the grey and white silks of Tuwaisan. Rail runner is Al Zaklawi. Orange cap was one of the many greys in the race. M. Lolshan is right around the field, about 4 deep, being followed by Obeyan as they approach the final turn. Krushan is currently sitting second last. The slow-starting Musanan is at the back. They're heading down towards the final 400 metres. The red sheepskin noseband of Kuhalen Weld Umzaraya coming there now to try and take over, with Tuwaisan still holding every chance to the inside in second place. Al Zaklawi 947 dropping away. M. Lolshan with a big effort as they head down towards the last 200. And it's Victorious now, occupying 2 of the first 3 positions. Between horses, Kuhalen Weld Umzaraya, wide outside M. Lolshan, and Tuwaisan trying to spoil the party on the inside, heading down towards the final 50, and it is Tuwaisan. Tuwaisan, a recent winner, now opening up, goes on by a few lengths. Tuwaisan on top of the situation. Tuwaisan is in front where it matters. Kuhalen Weld Umzaraya second, M. Lolshan next. Obeyan was joined on the line for 4th place by the slow-starting Musanan. So Tuwaisan, number 3, has gone on to win. This horse was a winner last winter, was in action recently here, running a decent race behind Al Hamdani. Tuwaisan's got that winning form, beat Obeyan here last January. But Tuwaisan spoiled that Victorious party with Kuhalen Weld Umzaraya and M. Lolshan both holding every chance in the closing stages. But number 3, Tuwaisan, has come out on top to take our our first race of the day. Second place, that goes to Cahalan Weld Umzareya, number 1 on the card. Third, number 2, M. Lolshan. And it looks as though on that evidence that number 8, Obeyan, has finished in 4th place. So they are the provisional placings to race number 1, 3, 1, 2 and 8. 3, 1, 2 and 8. That's the provisional result of race 1.
Yes, and 3 to Asan has spoilt the victorious party and has shown a lot of pace here. Very lightly raced horse indeed, and is clearly improving. This just the third start back of the campaign, having raced at the back end of October last month, and has now gone in for the first time since January. Darren was remarking on it before racing, sticking towards that far side rail, yes, edging off it in the closing stages, but it was at this point that you might have fancied that one of the victorious horses was going on to prove just that, those being Cahalan Weld Umzareya and Lolshan, the stablemate. They've in the end finished 2nd and 3rd, and they didn't have that much to give come the closing stages, once Tawaysan had rather quickened up to go and win, a horse who won over the course and distance at the start of the year back in January. And a couple of starts this term. Form tied in with Cahalan Weld Umzareya and Lolshan. When 3rd back here in October, that form rather standing up to scrutiny. And was 4th here last time behind Al Hamdani, the winner who won well. And this one was beaten 5 lengths or thereabouts. The other 2 don't seem to have run bad races, the 1 or the 2. And as Darren was noting in commentary, Musanan, horse 7, despite that slow start, one of the greys in the race, Spot the White Cap, has finished like a bit of a train to grab 5th.
Well, congratulations to winning jockey Abdullah Faisal. Well done, Abdullah, your 6th victory here and a real improved performance by this horse.
Thank you very much. It's actually the 7. I ride him 2 times, this horse. He wasn't that good. I think he wasn't that fit. We make some treatment on his back because he should be better than, because last time he finished 2 times, 1 time 3rd, 1 time 4th, and then we check him, he have little pain on his back. And Louis, she make a treatment for him, and he improved a lot after that, and he went very easy today.
Well, congratulations, and enjoy the reception you're going to be receiving. Heading back into the winners' enclosure. Well done then to local jockey Abdullah Faisal, enjoying another victory. He's having a very good season here, starting off the season strongly, as he has done for the last few years. Well done then to our winning jockey Abdullah Faisal, winning trainer Yusuf Aboanain, and the winner of our opening race for Arabian horses. Well done to horse number 3, Tawaysan.
Ladies and gentlemen, time to show your appreciation for the first winner of this Super Friday. Looking forward to what's to come. The first race, though, for the purebred Arabians has been won by a horse in the colours of Al Rifa for trainer Yusuf Aboanain. And we've just heard from the winning jockey. That was Abdullah Faisal. All smiles, thumbs up, as well he might do. Tawaysan has won race 1. Now, the big Turf Series races are about to get going within the next half an hour, hour or so. One man who's looking to win both of them is the Newmarket-based trainer, George Scott. George, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Hot off the plane, straight over to a place that I guess means an awful lot to you.
Yeah, no, it does. We've tried to support this series from the get-go. Obviously, Sheikh Nasser's been a massive supporter of mine, and Fauzi, through Fauzi Nass. So, you know, it's a pleasure to be back here, and it's a beautiful setting as always.
I'm about to say, compared to the Arctic Newmarket, this is all right.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and you know, as you say, Newmarket's freezing at the moment, and the temperature's perfect, and the track looks in amazing condition. So there will be no excuses on that front.
Great stuff. Well, I guess we get to know Isle of Jura, as you will do in the 2,000 metre race, the first of the Turf Series races. What can you tell us about since you've got this horse?
Well, he obviously was a horse that came out of Godolphin, very well-bred horse, a family that do very well as they mature, and he took a little bit of time to find his rhythm, but he was impressive at Newbury and Newmarket, and then probably I took the blame there for running him back a bit quick at Haydock, and he didn't run quite as well, but he's had a nice break, and he's been training really well into this, and he seems to have shipped well, so we're looking forward to the race.
Brilliant. And in the sprint, I guess a horse who remarkably is only coming towards the end of his 3-year-old year. He seems to have been around so long. Rocket Rodney's been an amazing horse for you. I guess the 2-year-old year really does stand out. Where do you think he is at the moment?
Well, yeah, he was a really good 2-year-old for us, sadly. You know, he was second at Ascot, second at York, second at Goodwood. But, you know, sometimes that busy 2-year-old season takes their toll a little bit, and I'm hoping that he's just sort of started to find, you know, he's really handicapped slightly, and he's strengthened up again, and he seems to have thrived since he's got his bright as a button.
He should love it here, shouldn't he?
Yeah, he'll love the flat track and the fast ground, and you know, it's just going to be where the pace is, isn't it? This first meeting, the jockeys won't really know where they want to be, so it'll kind of be a bit of luck rather than judgment, I would think.
George, we wish you well and hope we're talking to you after a winner.
Thank you. Cheers.
And now we're moving on to race number 2, the REHC Cup. It's a race for the locally bred thoroughbreds, and we're going 2,000 metres. Let's have a look at the lineup. Number 1 is Mudalal. This race features a few horses that are in form or in form last season. Mudalal scored 3 straight wins last term. Jason Watson in the saddle. Number 2, Mediterranean Moon, and Edison Rodriguez going for a hat-trick. Mediterranean Moon won in February, started this season off in good style with a win last week. That's Mediterranean Moon. Number 3 is Living Art, last year's winner, going for 4 straight wins now, Living Art, and Living Art was a winner when last seen here at the big fixture a few weeks ago. Stefan Lajage is in the saddle. Number 4 is Battle of Talas, and Battle of Talas, a runner-up to Living Art last time. Battle of Talas, partnered by Gerald Mosse. A newcomer to the scene is number 5, Hadar, Anas Al-Siabi in the saddle. And number 6, former Oaks heroine Manama Girl and Martin Sadel. They are the 6 locally bred thoroughbreds going 2,000 metres in our second race. This is a domestic Grade 3.
So let's have a look at the horses then in the parade ring. We've got some very nice runners in this one, Nick. The last 2 winners of the Bahrain Oaks line up against each other in Mediterranean Moon and Manama Girl. Horses that are also contesting the King's Cup and Crown Prince's Cup for local breds. So horse number 1 is a horse called Mudalal for Jason Watson and Fauzi Nass. There he is. A 5-time winner last season, including coming second in the Derby just by a neck to Van Halen. So good form from last season. Returned this year perhaps a little bit disappointing, finishing in 5th, but if he can return to the form that he showed last season, he's certainly got every chance.
That was a look at Mudalal. Walk around in the shades, the calm before the storm. It's a smaller field, this one. Just the 6 declared runners, one of which is number 2. This is Mediterranean Moon, who she has been in great form. She chases a hat-trick. She won the Bahrain Oaks on final start of last season, and she returned last week to win in rather glorious, splendid isolation. She had it her own way. She's clearly quite talented indeed, good local mare, bidding to continue her progress.
There's Edison Rodriguez, jockey 2 Mediterranean Moon. He'll be getting the leg up from trainer Alan Smith. As we look at horse number 3, who will be going straight out, Living Art. So he'll be mounted in the parade ring and heading straight out a bit early. Actually, he's already on the track. He's got the red hood there, Living Art. And so there is horse number 4, Battle of Talus. He's wearing the cheek pieces for the first time. Gerard Mosse riding for Alan Smith. They've had a brilliant start to the season. This horse finishing in second the last twice.
Yes.
But finished third in the King's Cup last season, so a horse with plenty of talent.
He's not warm enough. Prancing around, but hopefully won't be hitting the crossbar once again. Right, there is number 3 as we drop back 1. We'll go forward 1, actually, one in the sequence. That is Living Art, who's bidding to continue what has been a golden spell. Finished last year winning in great form and returned last time to beat Battle of Talus, aforementioned, when showing a good attitude. Allied to the talent, of course, rather determinedly brushing aside a poor passage. Switched, but still won well, and you'd fancy there's more to give.
There's Mediterranean Moon and Battle of Talus heading down to the start, the stablemates.
Some in-form horses in this. Horses looking to really enhance where they are at the moment. Looking forward to this.
So still in the parade ring, there is horse number 5, Hadda, who's having his first start today. Anis Al-Siyabi riding for Fawzi Nas in the Al Mohammedia racing colours. Just a 4-year-old. And looks to be taking in proceedings pretty well, wearing the blinkers. That's horse number 5, then Hadda.
And there is number 6 as we round off the fields. This is another of the Oaks winners, and that is MANAMA Girl. MANAMA Girl, who won the Bahrain Oaks a couple of seasons ago. She was relentless improving that season during the 2022 campaign, but she hasn't won since then. She made her return for the season when 4th behind Living Art and Battle of Talus a week ago. It has got that form's turnaround a month ago, I should say. So there's a little bit of a question there, but she adds a bit of spice to the mix.
So the horses haven't got far to go to get to the start here. Start just around the corner from the winning post. So almost a circuit of the course, racing over the Bahrain International course and distance, 2,000 metres, mile and a quarter. And there's some familiar names to the local scene. The guys have already stated the last 2 Oaks heroines are in the field, Mediterranean Moon and MANAMA Girl, and a whole host of these know how to win races or in winning form at the moment. Mediterranean Moon comes here having scored last week. That was Mediterranean Moon's seasonal debut. So has now won her last 2 starts. Living Art has won his last 3 starts. Took this prize 12 months ago and won on his seasonal debut here last month. That's Living Art. Living Art and Mediterranean Moon, probably the 2 key players then on form. Battle of Talus number 4 was a 2-length runner-up to Living Art over the 2,000-metre journey here a few weeks ago. That was over this course and distance. Hadda, a newcomer. Hadda for Al Mohammedia Racing and Fawzi Nas. This is a 4-year-old. Hadda in the red cap of Al Mohammedia Racing, so a debutante. And MANAMA Girl, we've mentioned MANAMA Girl, who hasn't scored since winning that Oaks in 2022. And MANAMA Girl was a well-held 4th behind Living Art here last month. So runners now arriving at the start ahead of our second race for the locally breds. Interesting race, fascinating race. And remember, this is a graded race. It's a domestic grade 3. Some familiar names to the local scene, I suppose, on the form. Living Art and Mediterranean Moon would be the two to focus on. And Moudalal is no mugs. Remember, Moudalal was in good form last season, notching up 3 straight wins at one stage last term. So 6 runners now at the start for our second race.
Will this the last then before we get into the Bahrain Turf Series races? And the second of the Bahrain Turf Series races is the MANAMA Cup, and British trainer George Bowie joins me now. George, you've got Thunder Moore in this, who's, would it be fair to say, a real 5 furlong specialist, so should like it here today.
I think so. He was bought for the race at Royal Ascot back in the summer, and it's a pretty similar sort of track, isn't it? You know, fast 5 furlongs, and yeah, he's come over here in good shape, and it's been the plan for quite a while.
Yeah, why was it important for you? I mean, I know you've sort of got connections to Bahrain. Why was it important for you to be represented in the Turf Series again?
Well, we tried to bring a couple of horses last year, but they didn't quite get in. So look, he's a horse who I wanted to wait till we thought we had a horse who might be on the right curve. He won his last start, and no, look, we've got a few horses for owners out here at the moment, and it's nice to come and see them.
What do you make of the lineup in today's race, particularly that sprint race? It's competitive.
It's a pretty hot race, isn't it? Yeah, look, I think everything that's come out here is lining up, so possibly drawn a little bit away from the pace, but I'll leave it to Billy. He knows the horse better than me anyway, so yeah, he's in as good a shape as I could have him, and hopefully he can run well. And
nice to get Billy out here, Billy Loughnane having his first ride outside of Europe.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Billy's ridden a lot of winners for us this year, nearly as many as he has for his dad, and yeah, he's could be a big part of the team, and nice to give him his first ride abroad.
Good luck then with Thunder Moore in the second of the Bahrain Turf Series races.
Cool, thanks Ali.
Nice update there from George Bowie, with one eye on the feature races still to come. 2,000 metres before the sprint, which will be race 4 on the card. This is race 2, which is a domestic graded race, 2,000 metres. The trip for this one. And some very much informed horses, not least MUHARRAQ, who was a real coming force at the end of last season, winning 3 on the bounce from February through March and improving by countless figures during that time. 5th on each start since returning this season, including last time behind Living Art, who I do think is going to go particularly well in this contest. Red Hood on it, number 3. That is Living Art, who, as mentioned, went for that run up that far side. It didn't happen, but he had the wherewithal and he had the tactical nous and also that speed to go and quicken up once he got his gap after he switched, and won very, very well indeed, and bidding to continue the strong return. Finished last season in great form, and Living Art bids to continue a pretty good spell. Horses gathering around before the start, before they get going for this 2,000 metre race. Just the 6 of them. And as Darren has mentioned, Ali 2 as well, Mediterranean Moon, MANAMA Girl, horses, mares, who have won the last couple of runnings of the Bahrain Oaks, are in situ. In the case of the latter, MANAMA Girl looks for her first win since that race, back in 2022. Battle of Talas has been a standing dish in these sort of races, who's hit the crossbar with a couple of silver medal runs so far this season. Second to Living Art. The winner that day had to check and switch, as mentioned, was good value for a little bit more. But he's consistent. I don't get up close and personal with him too often, but he is a bit warm there. But Ali, that could be just about forgivable, given the temperature today, and there's no cooling breeze.
Yeah, unusually warm for a Friday here in Bahrain, given usually when I'm coming out, it's yeah, strong headwinds and not always the warmest, but it's lovely to be enjoying the temperatures this afternoon. Battle of Talas, as you say, getting a bit warm under Gerard Mosse, wearing the cheek pieces for the first time. But Living Art is certainly the one to beat, been in absolutely flying form this season, won all 3 starts, and actually slightly better in the weights today with Battle of Talas as they line up against each other again. A horse that Stefan Lejudge has ridden numerous times in the past. He was actually ridden last time by Adrien de Vries, who came over on Bahrain International Trophy Day to ride quite a few for Fauzi. But Stefan, who's based out here, he's back on board. A horse that's been a great servant for the yard. He's a 7-year-old, but he's a winning machine, and as such, almost he's 7-time winner. There he is. He's a big, rangy horse. And when he gets going, when he gets and finds top speed, he's certainly hard to reel in. Yeah,
we don't see him all that often, but when we do, tends to win. So it's an opportunity to see him again for the 2nd time this season, just the 4th time in over a year now. So Living Art, fascinating runner in the race, and certainly too, actually, for the unknown quantity is Hadar, who's by Zoostar out of Jeannie Johnston, who goes out on debut for the first time. And for El Mohamed Race, and I guess we've got that great unknown with the debutante angle up against horses, grizzled, battle-hardened horses who've been it, seen it, done it. Okay, won't be too far off a jump for the second of 8 races, the REHC Cup, 2,000 metres. Darren, all yours.
Thanks, Nick. Yes, so the last of the runners there moving into position at the start. A Living Art and MANAMA Girl to complete the lineup for this domestic Grade 3 over 2,000 metres. They're ready to go. Stand by. All in. And they're racing. So 2,000 metres in front of them. Hadar, the newcomer, surrendered a few lengths on beginning. Battle of Talas, who is getting pretty warm in the prelims, is the early pace setter. Mudalal and Living Art are handy. They're not going much of a pace, and that certainly helped Hadar's case. Hadar now has caught up the others. Going into that first bend, and it is Gerald Mosse who holds the compass with Battle of Talas, leads by around about 2 lengths. White cap of Mudalal showing in second. Living Art settling down up along the inside. MANAMA Girl is following. Mediterranean Moon not getting any cover, 3 wide going into that turn. Hadar, the newcomer, red cap to the running rail. So they move on down the back. They've got 1,400 left to go, and it is Battle of Talas in front, leads by just over a length. Mudalal second place, a neck away to Living Art in third. The free-going Mediterranean Moon on the outside of the green cap of MANAMA Girl, and Hadar remains last, but they're well grouped with only around about 5 lengths covering this field. Moving towards the final 1,000, and it is Battle of Talas, the leader. Leads by a length. Mudalal is holding second. A Living Art is now being joined for third by Mediterranean Moon as they go into that far turn. MANAMA Girl is following them, and Hadar remains in last place with 800 metres left to gallop, and Battle of Talas is bidding to make all the running here for Gerald Mosse, Ali Adiat Racing, and the informed stable of Alan Smith, heading now towards the last 600, and now Battle of Talas being joined by Mudalal, white cap in the centre. Here comes Mediterranean Moon. It's been a pretty tough trip. Mediterranean Moon has been caught 3 wide down the far side, been pretty keen. Living Art coming under pressure now to try and get competitive. They've got 400 left to go. Battle of Talas is still the one to pass. Mediterranean Moon down the outside, hanging a little bit. Mudalal between horses. Living Art, and here comes MANAMA Girl trying to find her feet, heading down towards the final 100 metres or so, and it is MANAMA Girl now, the former Oaks heroine, moving on from another former Oaks heroine, Mediterranean Moon, and it is MANAMA Girl who's springing back to form here, leads by 3 parts of a length. MANAMA Girl is the winner. Mediterranean Moon in second, and all girls finished there 1 and 2. Mudalal, Battle of Talas, and Living Art all disputing it for other places, clear of the newcomer Hadar. So MANAMA Girl takes out this domestic Grade 3 race. MANAMA Girl springing back to form. Nice to see her in the winner's circle once again. Former Oaks heroine was second in this race 12 months ago to Living Art, and MANAMA Girl was one of those horses who seemed to settle a little bit better than most of the field. It was slow early pace, and MANAMA Girl has come through to take it. So provisionally it's number 6 MANAMA Girl beating Mediterranean Moon. Number 2 in second place with number 1 Mudalal in third. So those numbers in the frame, the provisional placings there. The first 3 horses home are 6, 2 and 1. 6, 2 and 1. It's an all-girls finish there. 2 mares, 2 former Oaks heroines dominating the finish, and this has gone to number 6, MANAMA Girl.
Well, I'm delighted to be joined by the man of the moment, the winning trainer alongside Jabba Ramadan, who's just seen his MANAMA Girl, who was a winning machine in 2022, get back to the winner's enclosure for the first time since. You must be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, definitely. We're delighted. All the team is delighted for her. She's been knocking all the season and last season, but today she was carrying less 55 kg, so I was favourite to her. So nice for us to have a winner.
It's special, isn't it? And when she has had those brilliant days for you, but it is now getting on for a couple of seasons ago, did you just have your worry that she wasn't going to be able to get back to the winner's enclosure, or always retain the faith?
Well, she was knocking all the time. She got that. She was all the time knocking the door, you know. She finished last time 4th, and today Martin gave her a brilliant ride, so confidence on her. I mean, last time she won was Martin riding her, so today Martin is back on her. Great ride from him. That's good for us today.
Jabba, well done. I'll let you go and see your winner.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's have a word with our winning jockey then, Martin Seidel, who's been back in Bahrain for, what, just 2 days, you told me. And you've obviously made all the difference on this horse.
Yeah, you know, I won the Oaks on her 2 years ago, and it's a while she won. And the good thing today is we have nice weather. We have beautiful people here in Bahrain, and I think MANAMA girl likes me.
Well, there is a call for a steward's inquiry. But Martin, from your point of view, she gave you a lovely feel today?
Yeah, she gave me a lovely feel. I saw her last race. I think she was last time only at 70%. And at the end, she got a bit tired. And, you know, she's also a bit tricky. When she hits the front, she starts to watch at everything. So I was waiting as long as I can, and it was perfect at the end.
Oh, well done. And you're going to be based over here again this season?
Yeah, so I had a winner now. I hope a few more coming. So I try to stay till the end.
Well done, and lovely, lovely performance on MANAMA Girl. Well done to Martin Seidel.
And there is a steward's inquiry into race number 2. Steward's inquiry into our second race. The provisional placings, this is the way the horses pass the post. This is subject to the outcome of the steward's inquiry. First, number 6, MANAMA Girl. Second, number 2, Mediterranean Moon. Third, number 1, Mudalal. And fourth, number 4, Battle of Talas. The margins there, 1 length and 1 1/4 lengths. 1 length and 1 1/4 lengths. And the time of the first horse home, 2 minutes 10.43. 2 minutes 10.43. But I must stress there is a steward's inquiry.
Yeah, we'll watch on as to the result of that particular race, but all smiles, well done to those connected with the one back into the winner's enclosure in the hands of Martin Seidel for trainer Jabba Ramadan, who we heard from in the colours of Akil Hassan Abdul Rahim. The winner is MANAMA Girl.
No,
And we've got more news from the stewards' room. The stewards' inquiry is continuing into our second race, but the stewards are satisfied that the winner is not involved. So it is an all clear on the winner. The stewards' inquiry, however, is continuing, but the stewards are satisfied the winner is not involved.
So we welcome on to the winners rostrum Yusuf Bahaji, the Chief Executive Officer of the REHC, to present the trophy to the winner of our second race. To connections of MANAMA Girl, and presenting the trophy then to the winning trainer, Jabba Ramadan, and to our winning owner, Akil Hassan Abdurrahim. Well done then to the winners of MANAMA, of this second race, MANAMA Girl, and we'll wait for the winning jockey, Martin Seidel, if he's going to be coming out. But they're enjoying victory with MANAMA Girl winning our second race. Well done to connections, Akil Hassan Abdurrahim. Series back now for its third season, and we have watched this series grow in both stature and prominence over the last 2 years, and this year it is bigger than ever before. Each race now worth $80,000, and we welcome more horses here. 21 international raiders have flown into the Kingdom of Bahrain, and this week they have very much been settling in to local life. So some beautiful shots of the horses here training in the mornings. They arrived on Monday, so they've had a short sort of 4 or 5 days to get used to conditions. Nick, before we talk about some of these horses coming into the parade ring, just a quick reflection on what was an amazing race here 3 weeks ago, the biggest, the richest, the most prestigious edition of the Bahrain International Trophy.
Wasn't it just 3 weeks ago since Spirit Dancer? I watched on from afar and I enjoyed. And no disrespect to Shadwell, Coolmore, Godolphin, etc. I think it was the result that the international appeal of the race probably needed. 5 years worth of the Bahrain International Trophy, top prize money, Sir Alex Ferguson winning the big race, speaking candidly before and after the race. What more do you want?
Yeah, the race worth $1 million for the first time, and the Bahrain International, or the Bahrain Turf Series now also had a boost in prize money. Each race worth $80,000, and it's worked because I feel this year the 21 horses that have come over and going to be based here for the next few months are the strongest bunch of horses that have travelled here since the inaugural year a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we're just a few moments away from our very first race, which will be our MUHARRAQ Cup, 2,000 metres. There's Phil McEntee over there, Diva Racing are here. There's real appeal with box-to-box as well. Quite a lot of British and Irish representation, not least Sleeve Binion as well. So if you build it, they will come.
So the first race in the 2023 Bahrain Turf Series will be getting underway shortly. It's due off at 2:20 local time. So let's get all the runners and riders with our commentator this afternoon. It's a good afternoon to Darren Owen.
Thanks, Ali. Thanks, Nick. Yes, looking forward to the launch then of the 23-24 Turf Series. We've got two pots. We've got the middle distance and the sprinters. We start with the middle distance division. Remember, there are points at stake, with the winner receiving 15 points in each of the races. Let's have a look at the first of our races then, the Al MUHARRAQ Cup by TEXEL Air. It is over 2,000 metres. We've got quite a few passports being stamped here, some new faces among the owners, trainers and the horses. Number 1, Dark Lion, Rosie Jessup. 2, last year's brilliant winner of this race, Lucanda, Rowan Scott. 3, Roller Jam and Stefan Lajaj. 4, Merlin's Beard, Jason Watson. 5, Duke de Kent, Lee Newman. Number 6 is Isle of Jura and Callum Shepherd. 7, Mr. McCann, Gerald Mosse. 8, Royal Scimitar, Anas Al-Siabi. 9, Simply Sondheim. Simply Sondheim, Lucanda stable companion. Billy Lochnan is aboard Simply Sondheim. Good to see Billy here in the kingdom. 10, Box to Box, who ran in this race 12 months ago, finished 4th on that occasion. Ibrahim Nada for Hugo Palmer here. 11 is Massaman, and that horse is partnered by Zesvan Mazur. 12 is Moktasab and John Egan. 13, Parlando, Billy Garrity. And 14, Sleeve Binion for Michael Halford and Tracy Collins. Nathan Cross is the man in the saddle. That's the field for the Al MUHARRAQ Cup by TEXEL Air, and they're going at 2,000 metres.
And the 14 runners then in the parade ring. Let's have a look at them before the jockeys get the bell to mount. And in your picture there, horse number 1, Dark Lion, in the colours of Victorious Racing. Rosie Jessup getting the ride on this for trainer Fauzi Nass, and a horse that was with Roger Varian, but now having his 3rd season in Bahrain and been consistently running in some of these top races Finished second to THOROUGHBRED back in March and gone up £8 for that, but had a warm-up race just at the beginning of October, finishing in second. So Dark Lion looking to go one better, and that is horse number 1.
Right, what about this fella? He's seen it, done it last year. Devastating success for Lukanda. And when last here back in February was the winner of His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa Cup. I'll never forget the scenes that day. George Baker's got a couple of good runners in this. And Lukanda, the one to beat on last year's form.
So another runner in the colours of Victorious Racing. This is Roller Jam, and Stefan LeJudge taking the ride for Fawzi Nas. And this horse looking for his 3rd victory on the trot and his 3rd victory in 3 weeks. So he's been winner the last 2 weekends and is coming here in absolutely flying form. This, so a step up in class for horse number 3, Roller Jam.
Right, we're going to jump back 2 horses now and find Duc de Kent, who represents Diva Racing, Ian Williams, and has been picked up from France and has some very good form in France. Listed place over in the native homeland. He seems trip versatile as well. €57,000 the purchase, and I think connections are confident.
Horse number 6 then for Victorious Racing, but trained in the UK by George Scott. Callum Shepherd taking the ride on Isle of Jura, moved from Godolphin to Victorious this season and has since then won twice over a mile. So stepping up in distance here this afternoon, that's horse number 6, Isle of Jura.
Okay, there is number 5, the horse we were talking about, Duc de Kent, who is a really interesting horse in the context of this race. Ran well behind Big Rock, one of the star horses in Europe last season, but well related, well bought, potentially for a big plunder in the Middle East for Diva Racing.
Horse number 7, Mr. McCann, in the colours of Al Adiat Racing. They've had a cracking start to the season. And Gerard Mousset takes the ride for trainer Alan Smith. And a horse that won on his debut here last season. Been a bit disappointing since, but the talent is there. That is horse number 7, Mr. McCann.
Right, these are horses picking up live going down. Merlin's Beard being one of them. It's got the red hood on. Hasn't been seen since the back end of last season, since February. So bidding to come off a break and looks a little agitated, actually, Merlin's Beard, who, if he's tuned up, could well be a big player for this.
Horse number 7 then is Mr. McCann. He looks a cool customer in the parade ring. And just behind him is horse number 8. Walking around the corner there is Royal Scimitar, another one for Al Mohammedia Racing, who were so dominant in last year's Bahrain Turf Series. And Royal Scimitar enjoying his 2nd season out here. He's had a prep run, or he's had 1 run this season. Anis Al-Siabi, the Oman jockey, taking the ride for Fawzi Nas on horse number 8, Royal Scimitar.
Behind that one is another bullet in the race to be fired by George Baker. We've talked about Lukanda. This is Simply Sondheim, and an opportunity to see Billy Loughnane, the star British jockey. What a year he's had right outside of Europe for the first time. Simply Sondheim is joined up now with George Baker, and the vibes are good.
And just behind horse number 9 rather, in the parade ring is Box to Box. That's horse number 10, a horse that was here for last year's Bahrain Turf Series. Finished 4th on his first start last series, but actually, since gone home back to the UK, he's a real improved horse. He's won twice at Chester this summer, trained by Hugo Palmer, running in the colours of the Running Order Partnership. And local jockey Ibrahim Nada riding for Hugo Palmer this afternoon on horse number 10, Box to Box.
Right, let's grab 11 going out. That is Massaman, who's not been seen since the big race defeat behind Passion and Glory here back in March. But you'd be heartened if you're a supporter in the fact that the trainer, Jabba Ramadan's just had a winner.
That is Massaman then, heading down to the start. And just in front of him, heading round the bend to the 2,000-metre start. We'll be having a look at the remaining runners. And you certainly won't miss horse number 12, because he's a big chestnut with a white face, white socks. We try and pick him up down at the start. But still in the parade ring then, it's horse number 14, Sleeve Binion. Trained by Michael Halford, Tracy Collins in Ireland. Nathan Cross has come over to take the ride on this horse. Sleeve Binion, a 3-year-old, so gets the allowance in this race and has had 3 wins this summer, on the up very much. He's won his last 2 starts, both September and October, over 2,100 metres. So comes here in great form, Sleeve Binion for Michael Halford.
Right at the back, we should be able to see, just edging out of frame there, number 13, that is Parlando. I talked about Ian Williams being represented by number 5, Duke de Kent. He also has 13 Parlando, still very lightly raced in the context of some of these. Hasn't won since the career debut 2 years ago, back when with Godolphin running in the famous blue. Connections paid 105,000 for Parlando.
And just one final horse to mention then is horse number 12, Moktasab, who will be ridden by John Egan this afternoon for Phil McAtee. And staying on the football theme, we saw Sir Alex Ferguson enjoying victory in the Bahrain International Trophy. This horse owned by another football manager in Harry Redknapp. Harry Redknapp enjoyed being part of the Bahrain Turf Series 2 seasons ago, and he's back here with Moktasab, who is a horse that was formerly with Shadwell, then William Knight. And he's been dropping down the ratings a little bit in this season, but a 3-time winner is horse number 12, Moktasab.
The field of 14 runners have arrived at the start for the first of the Turf Series races. So we're dealing here with the middle distance division. Winner will receive 15 points for the series this afternoon. Runner-up getting 10 down to 7, 5, 3 and 1 point for every finisher. So the first race of the Turf Series is only minutes away. We're looking on the big screen at number 13, Parlando, one of 2 representatives for the stable of Ian Williams. Billy Garrity takes the ride there. The stable companion is Duke de Kent in the Diva Racing silks, the dark blue with the red disc. So there are 2 representatives for the Ian Williams yard. Duke de Kent, an ex-French performer, 3-year-old. 2 all-weather wins at Cannes-sur-Mer last winter. Lucanda won this race last year by 5.5 lengths. Brilliant winner of this race 12 months ago, and followed up with a win late in the season here in the Kingdom as well. Lucanda for the yard of George Baker. They're also sending out Simply Sondheim. Billy Lochnan having his first ride outside Europe. Billy Lochnan aboard Simply Sondheim. First run for the stable here. And was in good form last year, Simply Sondheim winning 6 times. So runners then at the start. Let's focus now on Moktasab's chances. Here's Nick.
Runs in the famous colours of Harry Redknapp, now trained by Phil McAtee. Phil, thank you very much indeed for joining us. This is your first experience of the racing scene in Bahrain, first of all. How do you find it?
Yeah, no, it's certainly better than Chelmsford was last night, where we had a few runners, so no, delighted to be here.
Did you get the overnight flight over?
No, I came a couple of days ago, and I'm staying till Monday, so we're making the most of it.
Now, he's a horse we've known on the UK scene for a little while. Firstly Shadwell, then with William Knight. Good form. How long have you had him?
Yeah, no, he was with us for a spell in August after he had his wind surgery, and then he went into pre-training, and he's been back with us a few weeks now. So he's been to Chelmsford, he's done plenty of work, racecourse gallop, so we're happy with him.
And I know that this is your first experience hearing him as well, and running him for the first time, but we've seen him as a strong travelling horse who should really appreciate the conditions around here.
Yeah, no, this is a plan that was hatched quite a while ago. You know, he did well early on in the year, and his rating was high enough, and he disappointed once or twice, but as a result, his handicap mark slipped, and he's been tinkered with his wind, and hopefully, you know, he's turned up here well handicapped and everything ready to go.
Excellent. We wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm delighted to be joined by Ian Williams, who's got 2 in this. And Ian, your first time in Bahrain, what do you make of it?
It's lovely. Track looks in really good nick. We've been looked after really well, and the team have done a great job. So,
And the horse is in good nick.
the horses have arrived in good nick. They were very fresh saddling them today, so I hope they're not too keen in their race. But no, they're in good nick.
2 horses new to you, but some interesting profiles, particularly Duke de Kent.
Yeah, nice horse from France. We bought him back in the summer, and he's had quite a long break between then and running today. I'd just be a little bit concerned. He's maybe not as sharp as he could be, but he's obviously a quality horse with the form he's got behind him.
And Parlando, word on him, he's a lightly raced horse.
Yeah, he's a likely. He had his problems as a youngster, but he seems to have come through those, and he actually got struck into on his run before last at Wolverhampton and had to have quite a long break. And I was not really happy to run him at Newcastle last time because I thought he was very short and he ran a great race. So as long as he settles and sees the trip out well, I think he's probably our best chance of the 2 today.
I was going to say it's a bit of a step up and trip for him, though, but in these conditions, they should suit him.
I think the conditions will suit well, yes. So we've got to see. We only know so far what we've seen, but yeah, I think he'll take to the trip really well.
Well, it's great to see you here, and good luck today and throughout the rest of the series.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we wish all competitors, particularly as well the international runners in the race, the best of luck. Thank you to Phil McEntee for sharing his thoughts on Mokhtasab, and so too Ian Williams, his 2 runners, Duke de Kent and Parlando. Scene is set, nearly ready for the first of the Turf Series races of this brand new season. I've got a lot to live up to based on the Bahrain International Trophy of 3 weeks ago, and of course the scenes that were accompanying that particular race, but it should be a good contest this. A number of high-level performers in the UK, both those that are trained there currently and in the past as well. Just with the blindfold on, we've got the 1, that is Dark Lion, who was a very classy horse in the UK, of course, winner of the Jockey Club Cup here last season, and runner-up to American Flag on the return here at the end of October, the winner who led them a merry dance and who had transpired to have an unassailable lead at the top of the home straight. Dark Lion was the only one to go in pursuit that day, so something to build on for sure. One by one, they're making their way forward for the start of this 2,000-metre test, our MUHARRAQ Cup. There is 9 who we've just heard about, or Simply Sondheim we were talking about earlier. Just wonder a little bit with his British form whether the best form has come on softer ground, but we shall see. It's a race that the stable have done particularly well in. The fact that their winner of the race last year, Lucanda, is in opposition and tries to win it again. It'll be fascinating to see whether he can back up. There's 6. That's Isle of Jura, who's a big, imposing horse. And we were speaking earlier to trainer George Scott, who's very much hopeful for that one. And also in the same colours a little bit later on, Rodney. So Isle of Jura, then, we shall see. One getting a little agitated towards the inside. I think that was Simply Sondheim. But for the first of the big 2 today, we'll get across to our commentator, Darren Owen.
To complete the lineup is Dark Lion. For the start of the Turf Series 23-24, they're all in. And they're racing. The Turf Series is underway, 2,000 metres in front of them, and Merlin's Beard began well, but Mr. McCann is the one going forward from a fairly wide draw as they go towards that first turn. Mokhtasab is racing prominently. They're the leading few, with Massaman not too far away, and in the pale jacket box-to-box is trying to get a nice position. The pace doesn't look to be particularly strong. Isle of Jura, red-white striped cap is up along the inside. The nose-banded runner 3 wide is Dark Lion, followed by Duke de Kent as they negotiate the first turn and move on down the back with 1,400 to go. Last year's winner, that is Lucanda. Lucanda can be found roughly halfway down the pack. Simply Sondheim is towards the back end of the field and pretty keen as well at the moment, being chased by Royal Scimitar. And then comes Sleeve Binion. The back marker is currently Parlando. Moving on now towards the final 1,200, and it's Mr. McCann in front, leads by around about about 2.5 lengths, being followed by Massaman second, and neck away to Moktasab in third, 1.5 lengths to Box, then Isle of Jura being followed by Dark Line, who's getting no cover. Merlin's Beard Whitecap is following, chased by Lucanda, and then comes Roller Jam, Duke de Kent, Sleeve, Binion, making the exit from the back straight. The last two are simply Sondheim and Parlando, so they've got just over 600 to go, and it's Mr. McCann in front by about 1.5 lengths. Massaman's in second, Moktasar's Big White Face up along the inside. Box to Box is poised on the wide outside. Here's Dark Line coming to the races. Isle of Jura's just in behind them. Lucanda's in the clear. Merlin's Beard is trying to find another gear. They're inside the final 400. Mr. McCann far running rail, Box to Box, Dark Line, Massaman, they're the leading few. Isle of Jura's seeing a bit of daylight, heading down towards the last 200. Box to Box is in front from Isle of Jura now. In second place, last year's winner Lucando, and over the top Parlando is coming home really well, heading towards the finish. The lead is just being held here by Isle of Jura, who's drifting over to the near side, and Isle of Jura's taken it. Box to Box, simply Sondheim, Lucanda and Parlando are involved in a mix for the places, with Duke de Kent just in behind them. So Isle of Jura's gone on to win. Isle of Jura drifting over to the near side running rail, so forfeiting a bit of ground towards the finish. But Isle of Jura for victorious Callum Shepherd, and the stable of George Scott has gone on to win the MUHARRAQ Cup by TEXEL there. Got the nice split between horses at a vital stage, then drifted over to the near side running rail. Big effort from Box to Box today. There were some notable strong finishers, Lucanda, Parlando, they fall into that category, as does simply Sondheim. Some of them just got going a bit too late there towards the end. It's Isle of Jura who takes out the money, a horse who, before coming here today, hadn't run beyond a mile. The breeding suggested the horse would have the ability to see out 2,000 metres, and indeed Isle of Jura was in good form during the summer with wins at Newmarket and Newbury. So number 6, Isle of Jura, has got 15 points on the board by taking out the MUHARRAQ Cup by TEXEL Air.
Yeah, he's a big horse, he's a big talent, and he's won a big prize today. Well done indeed to George Scott, the winning trainer, in the colours of the local standing dish. That is victorious racing. Pat down the neck from Callum Shepherd to the winning horse. And this was a plan from a while out. It's well hatched. And this giant horse coming through for success and enjoying the extra distance here. A horse who was having a first up run and who won twice in the UK last summer, back-to-back midsummer handicaps at Newbury and Newmarket. You got the feeling earlier from speaking to him that George Scott was quietly confident of a big run from this ex-Godolphin horse. Very well-bred horse indeed. By a new approach out of Falls of Laura, who cost a lot of money when Victorious got hold of him, but they would have had these kind of races on the agenda, and it's been a strong result for the British Raiders. Box to Box, who ran in this race last year, has run a cracker over on that far side in the hands of Ibrahim Nada for Hugo Palmer. Lucanda, one of those horses in that bunch towards the near side, last year's winner of the race, coming through for his share of the prize money as well. It did get messy for a few of them, but the winner just powering to victory. And we're going to hear now how the race was won.
Yes, let's have a word with winning jockey Callum Shepherd. Callum, your first time riding here in Bahrain. Congratulations. How did it pan out from your point of view?
Nicely. There was less pace than I anticipated, and actually got a really nice position pretty quickly from stall 6. Just needed an out up the straight and just took a good draft off Box to Box, and Dark Lion. She got to the front of 200 down, and he was strong through the line. He's a horse we really like, we put a lot of effort into, and George and I take him very seriously. I was over here early, missed some racing in the UK just to be involved in his prep, and no, that's just reward. Very pleased.
Well, it's nice when a plan comes off, and certainly this plan has been in planning for, it's certainly been the aim, the target for a long time, but on a personal level, how important is it to get these victories abroad?
Yeah, really nice. My first winner in the Middle East, and I take great satisfaction from that. Look forward to the rest of the series.
Well, well done. Congratulations then, taking the first race as part of the Bahrain Turf Series. And it is victory for international trainer George Scott, based in the UK, but local colours in victorious racing. Well done then to Isle of Jura and Callum Shepherd.
Well, there we go. We just heard from that man up top, and he will be certainly back in Bahrain again. You can bet your bottom dollar on that one. Callum Shepherd riding the winner for trainer George Scott, who kindly shared his thoughts earlier in those distinctive, famous local colours of Victorious, the winner of the MUHARRAQ Cup, Isle of Jura.
So the full result of the first leg of the Turf Series, the MUHARRAQ Cup by TEXEL. First, number 6, Isle of Jura. Second, number 10, Box to Box. Third, number 2, Lucanda. Fourth, number 13, Parlando. And fifth, incidentally, was number 9, Simply Sondheim. The distances, 1 3/4 lengths and a neck. 1 3/4 lengths and a neck. And the time of the winner there, 2 minutes 06.28. 2 minutes 06.28.
I'm going to try and get the trainer ASAP. Okay. We heard from him earlier, we can hear from him after the winner of the first of the Turf Series races, George Scott. Congratulations indeed, that must have meant an awful lot.
Yeah, it did. I mean, as I said earlier, Sheikh Nasser and Fauzi have been huge supporters of me, and it's just nice to come back and reward them in a tiny way.
You're talking about tiny, he's a big horse, isn't he? Up close and personal.
Yeah, he's a beautiful big horse. I was a little worried before he got a bit on his toes, but I'd say that should just settle him down for the rest of the season now.
Was that the kind of run you were expecting from him today? Not necessarily to go and win like that, but where he was sort of well-being-wise?
His work had been really, really pleasing. I was sort of a bit overconfident. And then that ebbed away slightly when he got a bit het up. But yeah, he's a lovely horse. He's bred to be a very good horse, and I hope he can move forward from this.
And with the big spring targets here in mind, is that what you're working back from now?
Well, yes, of course. I mean, obviously we've got Sheikh Nasser's Cup, which is a race which I've had in mind for him, but he had to get through this first. So we'll regroup and Sheikh Nasser will come up with a plan and we'll go from there.
Lastly, for anyone who didn't see it earlier, chance of the double with Rocket Rodney, how is he?
He's really good. I mean, he's more exposed than this horse, but he's travelled well, and if he's in the right place, where the pace is, I'm sure he'll run okay.
George, well done.
Thank you so much.
And they have now weighed in for race 3, the first leg of the Turf Series, the MUHARRAQ Cup by TEXEL Air. The result, first number 6, Isle of Jura. Second was number 10, Box to Box. Third, number 2, Lucanda. And fourth, number 13, Parlando. Fifth horse, incidentally, was number 9, Simply Sondheim. So it's one for the visitors, Callum Shepherd, George Scott, Victorious in the winner's circle. The distances there, 1 3/4 lengths and a neck. 1 3/4 lengths and a neck. And the official time of the winning horse, 2 minutes 06.28. 2 minutes 06.28. So despite drifting over to the near side, Isle of Jura stepping up in distance, having his first run here in the Kingdom, has come out on top and winning really well in the end. So 15 points for Isle of Jura. Great start to the Turf Series for the connection. So they've weighed in now for races 2 and 3 here in Bahrain. Isle of Jura, Box to Box, Lucanda and Parlando are the first, second, third and fourth in leg 1 of the 23-24 Turf Series.
So we come to the trophy presentation for the first Bahrain Turf Series race for 2023. It is the MUHARRAQ Cup, sponsored by TEXEL Air, and we welcome up Chairman of TEXEL Air, John Chisholm, and Director of TEXEL Air, George Chisholm, to present the trophy. And presenting the trophy to Connections of Isle of Jura. Congratulations to His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, winning owner, winning trainer George Scott, and winning jockey Callum Shepherd. Isle of Jura, the winner of the MUHARRAQ Cup, sponsored by TEXEL.
So we're moving on now to the second of our Turf Series races. It's the sprinting division now. All eyes on the sprinters. 1,000 metres, 5 furlongs down the straight in front of them. Let's have a look at the field. Number 1 for this race, the MANAMA Cup by BBK, is Instinctive Move. Lee Newman takes the ride, and a horse finished second 12 months ago. Number 2 is Pure Dreamer, and Gerald Mosse is in the saddle. 3, Avago Joe and Martin Seidel. 4 is Warrior Brave, Nathan Cross. 5, Anthem National and Andrew Elliott. Number 7, Nationwide and Stefan Lajaj. 9 is Rocket Rodney, Callum Shepherd. So the connections there going for a quick double. 10, Danger Alert, Raheem Jassim. 11 is Power Train, Abdullah Faisal. 12, JM Jungle, Billy Garrity. 13, Kiwano in, and John Egan is aboard. 14 is Four Wheel Drive and Mathieu Pelletin. 15, Brazen Bolt, Ibrahim Nada. 16, Roman Dragon, Anas Al-Siabi. 17, Squealer, partnered by Rowan Scott. 18, Thunder Moon, Billy Lochnan. Number 19, Derin and Chesapan Mazur. And 20, Edward Cornelius, Jason Watson, now aboard. Note those reserves getting in because 6 get in and 8 Carsib are out. That's the field for the first leg for the sprinters for the Turf Series, the MANAMA Cup by BBK. Here's Ali.
Yes, time to catch up with winning owner, His Highness Sheikh Nasser. Sheikh Nasser, you've won big races, not just here, but around the world, but always nice to get a big victory, particularly kicking off the Turf Series.
Yes, absolutely. I'm delighted for the win today, but also my message to everyone coming to Bahrain. This course is for everyone to win. You have to be the best anyways, but the joy of being here, getting owners from all over the world, and competing to win the Turf Series is a pleasure. Winning it, of course, completes the whole vibe and makes me so happy.
Yeah, what do you make of the international horses that are over here, and also the number of international connections that are coming and turning up, particularly after such a good trophy just a few weeks ago?
Well, you know, I believe our work here with the team, with Sheikh Isa and all of his team, are doing a great job. Really, the race atmosphere here, the spirit over here is doing great. And, you know, it's an honest race, it's an honest track anyways, and just be the best.
Well, a very nice horse in Isle of Jura. Are you going to make it a quick double and win the other Bahrain Turf Series race? Of course, you've got Rocket Rodney for George Scott in this one.
Well, I told to Georgie now, no pressure. I'm expecting 2 out of 2, but the sprint is going to be a tight one with a lot of horses, so we never know.
Well, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, super race in prospect. And colours we've just seen, courtesy of Isle of Jura. Well, they might just bloom again in a few moments' time. Hey, there's a big crowd enjoying not just the great racing, the festivities, but also the weather, which is warm. And pleasingly, Ali, alongside someone who's no stranger to racing here, there is no wind whatsoever.
And actually just a few miles from here this morning, the local Ironman event took place, and I think the cyclists certainly enjoyed the lack of headwinds going down to the bottom of the island. And I know, Nick, there's always next year for you, do not worry. We are certainly also enjoying the lack of headwind here because it can be a blowy place. But look, the horses are in the parade ring for our second of the Bahrain Turf Series races this afternoon. This one over the fast 1,000 metres, and the going is good to firm out there. It's going to be a super fast race, and we've got 18 runners in this. Maximum field, 10 of them internationally trained. Let's have a look at them. Then is horse number 1, Instinctive Move, one of the local trained horses for trainer Alan Smith. He's got a couple in the race and he's started the season in absolutely flying form. Lee Newman, who's been a jockey who's been based out here for a number of years, he takes the ride on Instinctive Move. And this horse second in this race last year, and a consistent type for Connection. So horse number 1, Instinctive Move, in the colours of Al Adiat Racing.
And in those same colours, Pure Dreamer, who is next. Horse number 2 that we have a look at for Alan Smith and for Gerard Mosse. He'll break from stall 14. Has had a habit of being in the frame frequently. It's a totally different distance today. Unexposed at as short as 1,000 metres. A good horse, though. Speedy horse, and will represent the locals well.
Horse number 3, Avago Joe, wearing the visor, just behind those first 2. And this a horse then for winning connections of our second race. Martin Seidel, jockey riding for Jabba Rabadan. And Avago Joe, last seen on International Trophy Day, finishing in second, just a short head to Rebel at Dawn. And has risen through the ranks here in Bahrain. A really good horse for Connections, horse number 3, Avago Joe.
Next up is horse 5. That is one of the British runners. This is Anthem National, having a first start out here. 1 from 12 overall, represents trainer Phil Kirby. That sole win coming on the weather at Newcastle, but was listed placed earlier this year on the grass. We shall see how strong he is as regards some of the British horses coming over.
Horse number 7 then, His Highness Sheikh Nasser looking for victory in this race as well. This is Nationwide, who's trained locally by Fauzi Nas. Stefan the Judge takes the ride on this. Also, it was formerly with John Butler before heading out to Fauzi in Dubai, and has had 2 starts though in Bahrain, last seen finishing 3rd back at the end of last season, so making his seasonal debut. That's horse number 7, Nationwide.
Next up, we find horse number 10, that one trained by George Baker, who's 2 horses in the previous race, Lucanda and Simply Sondheim, I think both ran well. They've got Danger Alert here, who is drawn higher in 16. He's making the Bahrain debut, 3 from 14 overall. Multiple winner at the start of the year. Can be a bit of a slow starter, so that'll need to be ironed out at the start of this rapid 1,000-metre test.
Horse number 11, another in the colours of Al Adiat Racing. This one is Powertrain, a horse that was formerly with Hugo Palmer, now here in Bahrain with Alan Smith. Abdullah Faisal takes the ride on this horse, and a horse that we haven't seen. It's November 2022, so big break for Powertrain, who is a 5-time winner.
Next up, we've got 14. It's another of the Alan Smith runners in the race. This is Four Wheel Drive, the son of Doncaster Rover, who unseated the rider here last time. Did run well a couple of times last year, looking for a first win in what will be 2.5 years. He's got those distinctive cheek pieces to match the sheepskin noseband as well.
So there is horse number 15, Brazen Bolt, one for John Quinn, who's looking for a big international weekend for the yard. Of course, got Highfield Princess in Hong Kong, and this fella here, and Ibrahim Nada takes the ride for John Quinn, a horse that's more consistently been running over 6 to 7 furlongs, and his last win came in September, so comes here in great form. Horse number 15, Brazen Bolt.
19 is the next one that we pick up in this sequence. Getting towards the tail end as this is Derarin, who's got a higher draw in 17, 5th behind Breath of Air a couple of weeks ago. This will be totally different though. That was a 1,400-metre test, round the bend over 7. What about a straight track 1,000-metre race? He did win a 1,000-metre race when a 2-year-old in the past, but that was a good couple of years now.
Following horse 19 is horse number 4, Warrior Brave, a horse we saw out here last season, competing in the Turf Series for Irish trainer Ross O'Sullivan. Jockey Nathan Cross takes the ride on this. Finished around about sort of 5th or 6th in the series last season, all over the 1,200 metres, but has won 3 times subsequently back at home. So arguably an improved horse this year, coming in on a rating, a career high of 98. That's horse number 4, Warrior Brave.
Let's have a look at horse number 13, I think, in just a few moments' time. For George Baker, one of the Baker runners in the race. We've already talked about Danger Alert. What about Kiwano, horse 13, who's got the low draw in 1? Has left David Simcock, joined George Baker, all 3 wins on the all-weather, far lesser exposed on the turf, reached a good level on the artificials as well. We shall see. It's a horse who's won off a long absence. He'll look to do something similar today.
Horse number 12 is JM Jungle for John Quinn and Billy Garrity getting their mount up there in the leg up. A horse that has really been progressing this season, this 3-year-old, running consistently over 5 furlongs over this distance and has risen through to a career high of 93. JM Jungle, one of the fancied runners in this race for trainer John Quinn.
Next up, we'll have a look at horse number 16. This is Roman Dragon, making the debut here in Bahrain. Goes for Hugo Palmer. Should be good and fit, having only been seen 4 weeks ago at Newcastle. 5 times the winner on the turf, and very much a Chester specialist near to the home, the base of Hugo Palmer. A turning sprinting track, all wins on the 1200-metre test there. It'll be a straight speed test of 1,000 today for 16. Roman Dragon.
Horse number 17, Squealer, is one that does like the 1,000-metre test. Rowan Scott, who's riding him today, won on him at Doncaster in August. Nigel Tinkler trains this one, the son of Memas. He comes here in good form. Horse number 17, Squealer.
18 is one of the last that we're going to be taking a look at. That is Thundermore, who goes for trainer George Bowie, who shared his thoughts on this horse earlier with Ali, a 3-year-old having the first start out here, and brought out by George. Off since winning at Southwell on the artificial surface as part of the Racing League in September. The owner of some pretty substantial turf form as well. He's a very fast horse.
Number 9 then, Connections, looking for back-to-back victories in this turf series. It's Rocket Rodney, trained by George Scott. Callum Shepherd taking the ride in the victorious colours. And a horse that loves this 1,000-metre distance. A horse that was very talented as a 2-year-old, finishing 2nd at Royal Ascot in the Windsor Castle. Won a listed race at Sandown. He's just a 3-year-old, and he's running off a mark of 95. Comes here with every chance. Horse number 9, Rocket Rodney. Horse 18. Hello?
So runners on their way to the start, just waiting for Thundermore to come out onto the track. Apparently Thundermore actually lost a shoe there in the prelims. Number 18, Thundermore, just going to the start now in the pink and yellow jacket. Thundermore, Billy Lochnan in the saddle for George Bowie and Maria Gill. That's Thundermore. All the others are well on their way to the start. 1,000 metres down the straight this afternoon. So this is the first leg of the sprinting turf series, the MANAMA Cup. by BBK. Just looking at a few of the horses there approaching the start. Danger Alert, red with the white cross belts. That's Danger Alert. Warrior Tail, cheek pieces, red jacket. Warrior Tail, who was in action here last winter. In good form in Ireland this summer, winning 3 times. That's Warrior Brave. And there is Kawano. So runners well on the way to the start. Let's rejoin Nick.
Yes, plenty of international appeal here, not least the fact that Ross O'Sullivan is back for more. He's got Warrior Brave, who's back out here again. Ross, good to see you out again in Bahrain. I was just asking you off camera, do you feel that Warrior Brave's as good as he's ever been, or maybe better than he was when he was here last year?
Yeah, well, he came back to Ireland last year in great form after the winter out here, and went on and won 3 races at home. So he's climbed back up in the ratings again. He is a horse that comes here fresh. He hasn't ran for a while yet, so that should suit him. 5 furlongs today is probably, you know, 6 would probably be better. But we're happy with him. He's settled in well. Chloe that rides him every day is delighted with him, and he seems to be bouncing and going to the start.
I bet he's happy to be back, isn't he, as is the trainer?
Yes, there's a bit of sun on his back, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Is there a plan to have a sort of long-range winter campaign with him out here?
Yeah, definitely. It was, like I said, he obviously his owner, Eleanor Kennedy, the American lady, will be out here in January and maybe February. She loved it here the last time, had a great trip, and she was very keen to come back out again because, you know, just everyone was just so accommodating and looked after us really well.
Wish you well.
Great, thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, standing alongside me is trainer Alan Smith, who's more panded in this race. He's got 4 runners, looking to keep those international raiders at bay, Alan. Important for you local trainers to be well represented in the Turf Series races.
Yeah, of course. We want to take part. We want to be part of it. And our horses are qualified, so we'll have a go if we can get in.
And your horses are in absolutely flying form as well this season.
Yeah, we're having a good time at the moment. Just hope it keeps on. Yeah.
Talk to me about the runners then you've got in this race. It's fair to say Instinctive Move and Pure Dreamer would be the leading contenders.
Yes, I mean, Instinctive Move is a really nice horse. He had a run last month and he finished a nice 4th. Just ran a bit fresh, actually. So we're hoping this time he's just a little bit more settled. But Pure Dreamer seems to have come on this year. As I was saying, it sometimes takes horses a season to settle in and acclimatise. And he just seems a nicer horse this year.
What about the trip for him?
Yeah, well, he seems a lot sharper than he was. So that's why we brought him back to 5 furlongs.
We always read into these things. So presumably Gerard Mosse had the choice between the 2?
Yes, yeah, I mean, we work it out between us, but I try to put him on the winners and he tries to choose them.
And your 2 horses then, Instinctive Move, Pure Dreamer, drawn in polar opposites, 1 in 4 and 1 in 14. This track for our international viewers, which side is best, do you think?
Well, it's always handier to be towards the outside because of the photo finish is a slight angle. But that said, yeah, they seem to come up in the middle okay.
Well, all the best with your runners in this race, Alan, who's got 4 runners, but Pure Dreamer then, the choice of jockey Gerard Mosse, who'll be coming out of stall 14 and looking for victory for the colours of Al Adiat Racing.
OK, we're not too far away then from the second of the Turf Series races. A very quick word with Nigel Tinkler alongside, who's got Squealer, all good?
Yeah, it seems very well. He's settled in well and hopeful for a good run.
How do you think the sort of situation, the straight turf, 1,000 metres on this kind of ground is going to suit?
Yeah, I mean, I think you put a fair bit of water on yesterday, but I think we've had a drying day today. He just wants top of the ground, and that's why the main reason why we brought him here. He's drawn quite high, so I think the ground's probably even a little bit quicker this side than the far side.
Super stuff, Nigel. Wish you well.
Thank you.
Nigel Tinkler, who's the trainer of horse 17, Squealer, who's got the draw in 13 under Rowan Scott. Rowan, who's certainly no stranger to racing in the Middle East. There is said horse. The son of Memas. Right, not too far away from a jump for the second of the 2 Turf Series races, the MANAMA Cup. It's going to be fast and furious. Here's Darren.
Thanks, Nick. Yeah, runners have just arrived at the start. Might just be a bit of a delay here because we heard that Thunder Moore had lost a shoe, and I've just been told that Thunder Moore will be replated down at the start. So they are at the post. We could be in for a little bit of a delay as they just deal with the shoe situation with horse number 18, Thunder Moore.
Well, hopefully it's going to be a nice and brisk process to get our full complement of runners into the stalls, including, of course, Thunder Moore, who George Bowie gave a very good word to earlier. They're headed up the field by Instinctive Move, and in the same colours, Pure Dreamer, Avogo Joe's there. Warrior Brave, who we just heard from, the trainer of Ross O'Sullivan, who's got his horse here back for more. Anthem National, trainer Phil Kirby, Nationwide. Rocket Rodney, Callum Shepherd and George Scott bidding for the big rate double on the day. And George Baker with a couple of runners as well. JM Jungle's a fascinating contender for trainer John Quinn, who's double-handed in this particular race as well. He's also got Brazen Bolt. I think JM Jungle doubtless is going to be one who's going to be running well. Massive weekend for the Quinn team with this horse, and then Highfield Princess over in Hong Kong on Sunday. It's been kept busy, JM Jungle, but held the form really well through last year. Won at Glorious Goodwood, unlucky at Epsom on Derby Day, placed at York Seabourn Meeting and progressed as a sprinter. And might just be having a big winter in the Middle East. We'll see.
Yeah, John Quinn, not bad with his sprinters, is he? He's got plenty at home, so he's going to surely know whether he's got a good one. Good luck to the team over in Hong Kong with Highfield Princess. As you said, they've got the 2 runners in this one, and number of trainers then double-handed. Just heard from Alan Smith. He's in absolutely flying form.
Isn't he?
18 winners, I think, so far this season. Gerard Mosse also leading the jockeys' standings. Good to see him here based for the season.
And they're just circling in behind. Hopefully nothing going to boil over, get a little bit warmer. I think 1 or 2 of them might have done ever so slightly in the parade ring, but they are sprinters. They're ready to get going as well. There's Anthem National for trainer Phil Kirby and jockey Andrew Elliott, who's going to break from stall number 5. They're going to be spread right across the width of the home straight here down at the top when they go into the starting stalls. The sole win for that horse coming on the all-weather at Newcastle. There is the horse we just heard about, who trainer Nigel Tinkler very much believes the situation here, the 1,000 metres on this kind of ground as well with a little bit of water that was put on yesterday, is very much going to suit. 3 times a winner in the UK, Donny winner in August, still a very lightly raced horse as well. Only a 3-year-old, Squealer, quite a fascinating runner. There's Rocket Rodney, who was that brilliant 2-year-old listed winning at Sandown at the Coral Eclipse meeting last year. The race before was the one where, of course, he'd raced his whole career on, being second to Little Big Bear in the Windsor Castle, that all-conquering running of the Windsor Castle. He hadn't won since his days as a 2-year-old, but the team after Isle of Jura are going to be heartened and bolstered in the confidence. "14 goes across, that's 4-wheel drive. Alan Smith sharing his thoughts on his runners. There's 16, that's Roman Dragon for Hugo Palmer, the son of Herat. 3 goes across, Avogo Joe for Jabba Ramadan, who's already had a winner today, and I think he might be sharing his thoughts on whether he might have a double.
Yeah, congratulations, Jabba, with your win earlier. You've got 2 runners in this one, Avogo Joe and Darian. How would you split the pair?
Well, I won one of it. Well, it's 5 furlong race, so you don't know. Avogo is carrying 60 kg, so I think it's going to be fast pace. Well, we hope one of them is going to win. That'll be good.
Martin Seidel on Avogo Joe, a horse that's had a nice prep race. We saw him here running over the 1,000 metres on Bahrain International Turf Day. That was a good second, then just ahead to Rebel at Dawn.
Yeah, early of season, he ran absolutely great race. Really, he's been great all the season for us last year and this season. So hopefully we'll see him today.
And your other one, Darian, is a horse that we saw in the Bahrain Turf Series last season. Finished a neck behind deep intrigue on Crown Prince's Cup Day. And another one that's had a prep race, but this is a real step down for him in terms of distance.
I know, there is no races for him, so we said let him to go run here and see how he's going to come up after this race. So good luck for both of them.
But as a Bahrain trainer, and you've had horses running very much around the world, and how good is it to see such a strong international contingent this year?
Well, as you know, every year is getting stronger and stronger, and especially in the stayer and the sprint and international. I mean, don't forget last year sprint was really, it was poor races. I mean, this year is really proper races, proper horses come. So hopefully we'll see who's going to end of the season and who's going to be having all the points, you know. But it's great for Bahrain, and especially for the trainers and owners. We see such a good day like this, so it's good fun. But I hope it's going to be Bahraini today.
Well, I don't know whether you can claim the first one, Bahraini owned and British trained, but good luck, Jabba. Good luck with your horses in this race.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Right, time to hear from another trainer who's very kindly sharing his thoughts. It's Phil Kirby, who's got horse number 5, Anthem National, in the lineup. Just as an overview, Phil, this is the first visit out here to Bahrain.
Yeah, this is the first time we've been over. It's been great so far. We've really enjoyed it, and we'll hopefully come back again.
It's not bad when the sun's shining and they're doing inspections left, right and centre back home.
Absolutely. I think we're flooded at home, so this is some difference.
Hope everyone's okay. Talking of Anthem National, we were just talking about him. His sole wins come on the all-weather, but some of that turf form he's got really stands up to scrutiny.
Yeah, it's really solid. He got put up for finishing second to Comanche Falls in a listed race, and it's just probably taken him a little while just to get back to where he needs to be. I think we're somewhere near now, so hopefully this will be on the sharp side for him, but it's just make a start and see where we are. And
because the series will progress and there'll be 1,200 metre 6 furlong races, is that more where you're going to kind of think he's going to be at his strongest?
Yeah, absolutely. I think on the 28th there's a 6 furlong race, which will be much more his bag. I just thought this was a nice place to start and fill a gap.
When did Bahrain come onto your radar?
We actually bought him with it a little bit in mind. So we were looking for a horse that we could travel around with and have some good days out for some owners, and it's worked out great, really.
I suppose when the call goes out that you can bring horses out here, enjoy a bit of sunshine and what goes on, they're not going to say no.
No, not at all, and they love travelling around, and we're having plenty of fun, so it's great.
Just as an overview, is this the only horse that you'll be having as part of the next few months here in Bahrain as the Turf Series progresses, or eye on another?
No, this is the only one for us this time, but hopefully we'll have a bigger team for next time, hopefully.
Brilliant. Good to see you here. Phil, well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
So there is the horse in question then, horse number 5, Anthem National. Came from Joseph O'Brien in July, and high hopes for him this season. Perhaps this trip a little bit short, though. We're just waiting for then horse number 18, Thunder Moon, Thunder Moor rather, to get his shoe put back on. So slight delay as the horses circle down at the start. Interesting, Nick, hearing from trainer Alan Smith about if there is any slight bias on the track. It's not necessarily over the course, but at the finishing line, where the way that the camera is positioned, perhaps it's more favourable for the near side horses.
So more of an optical illusion when it comes to that way, because yeah, I think when we talked about draw biases here, and on the couple of times I came last year, it seems there's a fair speed favour across the whole track. It didn't necessarily seem like you want to be far side, near side, or necessarily stand side. It looked where the pace is rather than any sort of advantage.
I think you're right. There we are then. Thunder Moor had his shoe put back on, and Billy Loughnane back in the saddle.
Great to have him here.
Yeah, it's not just his first ride here, is it? First ride outside of Europe. And you know, 12 months ago, he'd only just had he was celebrating his first ever winner. His first win came last November. So a remarkable 12 months, a champion apprentice in the UK.
Going for the all-weather championship back home as well, was riding, I think, at Chelmsford last night, then on the red eye overnight. Here we go in the sunshine.
Well, it just shows how important it is for these jockeys to try and get a ride out here and to commit to it, because he'll be missing plenty of good rides as he goes to that all-weather championship back in the UK, but he wanted to come out and ride, and Thunder Moor is the mount for him in this race as they start loading up. Horse number 12, that is JM Jungle. He'll love the fast conditions here. And Warrior Brave going in for Ross O'Sullivan. So a maximum field of 18 runners. We've had a couple of non-runners in the week, so 2 reserves coming in. That was Darian and Edward Cornelius, who's the latest to come in, and jockey Jason Watson swapping and riding him. And there's been bit of money in the international market for Edward Cornelius, horse number 20, former horse with Keith Dalgleish.
Right, hopefully we're not too far from a jump. With the second of our 2 Turf Series races on the card upcoming, Fast, Furious, and what a thrill ride it should be, the MANAMA Cup. Here's Darren.
Thanks, Nick. Yes, 1,000 metres for the sprinters. First leg of the Sprint Turf Series. Last couple moving up. Stand by for a start. They're all in. Four-wheel drive getting a bit fidgety, and they're racing. The instinctive move began sharply over on the far side. Rocket Rodney is showing up nicely with Kiwano there, and also Warrior Brave. Down the centre of the course is Roman Dragon with Thunder Moore. White cap of Edward Cornelius to the right. Four-wheel drive is showing up nicely with Squealer with Dash, and then comes Power Train, JM Jungle, Avago Joe. Further back to Danger Alert from Pure Dreamer. Brazen Bolt. On the near side is Nationwide, and then Dererin running down towards the last 400. Rocket Rodney, Edward Cornelius, and Thunder Moore. Kiwano is right there with Power Train. Every chance. JM Jungle looking for a split. Instinctive move on the far side. Squealers banging contention from Brazen Bolt, and Dererin heading down towards the last 200. And eyes drawn to the near side. It's Dererin and Squealer from Brazen Bolt. Warrior Brave is over on the far side, but Dererin is coming home strongest of all, and Dererin will put a bit of daylight between itself and the opposition. Dererin the winner. Squealer, Warrior Brave, far side, Brazen Bolt, and Anthem National all involved for the other places. So Dererin has actually destroyed them here, pulled them to part. Dererin, who was drawn in stall 17 of the 18, was in action in the Turf Series last year. It was a close fifth over 1,400 metres when last seen. Won over 1,400 metres here in January. Second start of the winter campaign for Dererin. Wow, that is how to win a sprint. Look at the daylight this horse has put between himself and the opposition. Squealer, Brazen Bolt, they've run stormers on the near side. And over on the far side, Warrior Brave was banging contention. So close call for the places. No doubt about the winner. And what a way to win as well. Dererin, number 19, coming out of stall 17 of the 18, has gone on to take it. Just having a look at the finishing positions of where the horses were drawn. Winners come from stall 17. Involved in the photo for places, you've got horses coming out of boxes 13 and 15. Best of those on the far side was Warrior Brave out of stall number 2. And also a good run behind the principals from Anthem National, who was running on at the end. Dererin takes out the first leg of the Sprinting Turf Series, the MANAMA Cup by BBK.
Yeah, that was a wow performance if ever we needed one. The Turf Sprint going the way of Dererin, trained by Jabba Ramadan, who's already had a winner on the card. You're just watching on the big screen with no doubt plenty of pride, as your fella down the near side showed the most awesome display of acceleration. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I think he needed the race last time, and 5 furlong is a bit sharp for him, I said. But he changed a lot in the training. He was keen all the time, so I said, you know what, just let him to go 5 furlong. Actually, it was planned to put him in the 6, so I said, it's 5 furlong, come on, go boys.
So the 6 will be the next plan after this?
Well, hopefully, depends how much they're going to give him the point, you know. He's already 91, so I'll be happy if they're going to give him 2-3 points. We have another chance, hopefully. Let's see.
So these are the first 2 Turf Series races of the new season. You've won one of them in that emphatic style. What does it mean to you to win one of these races against some of the strong international horses that come across?
Well, you know, it's what should I say? It's good for us, and you know our limit. I mean, Bahraini trainers. We have a lot of good Bahraini trainers, and our owners. A lot of them. Every year they spend a lot of fun. They go to TEXEL, to France, USA, and they bring a lot of good horses. So it's I really appreciate it to Sheikh Isa done a lot for us. You know, this is especially this big race like this, and all the trainers and all the jockeys and all the quality of horses. You know, it's not easy to win the race. It's not easy, but Come on. If it's, you got to be in it to win it. So yeah.
Just a bit. I'll let you enjoy the moment. Jabba, well done.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, let's have a word with a delighted winning jockey, Szczepan Mazur, Polish jockey, who's just come over. First day riding here, second ride of the afternoon, and what a performance by this horse.
Hi. Yeah, I was very happy with the draw at the rail. I found this ground much better, and the horse braked from the stalls very well. I have perfect travel, just asking him for the final, and he did a very good job.
He certainly did, and put a decent margin between himself and the others in the end as well, pulling away really strongly.
Yeah, really easy.
And for you, you're from Poland, you're over here for the season. How big a victory is this for you in your career?
Oh, it's my first time in Bahrain. I'm very happy and appreciate for the owners. Actually, I'm based in Qatar now. It's not far away, so I hope I can come more time.
Well, I'm sure we'll be seeing you throughout the rest of the season then. Well done to Szczepan Mazur, victorious in our second Bahrain Turf Series race. This one, Undarian for Onyx Racing and Jabba Rabadam.
Yeah, special moment for all connected. Well done to that man aboard, Szczepan Mazur. Simon the salute, and off go the goggles. Anybody needs to buy a new pair, but he won't mind. Szczepan Mazur, the winning jockey for that man, Jabba Ramadan, at the double today so far here in Bahrain. In the colour of Onyx Racing, the winner is Derarin. Yes.
So the result of race number 4, the MANAMA Cup by BBK. First, number 19, Derarin. Second, number 17, Squealer. Third, number 4, Warrior Brave. Fourth, number 15, Brazen Bolt. And fifth was number 5, Anthem National. The distance is 4 lengths and a short head. 4 lengths and a short head. Time of the winner there, 59.64. 59.64 seconds. They are the provisional placings to the MANAMA Cup by BBK Race 4. And the result is now official. Weighed in, weighed in.
Well, what a fantastic start then to the 2023 Bahrain Turf Series. 2 fantastic races. Darian absolutely destroying the field in that 5 furlong 1,000 metre race, and quite unexpected, I think, for connections, but great for Jabba Rabadam because he's been out. He's a trainer that's been based here and had plenty of success here. But I imagine winning that Turf Series race for him and beating some of the international horses will mean a lot to him in connections.
Yeah, I got the feeling afterwards from just speaking to him a few moments ago that we've got quality horses, we've got good trainers, got facilities. We can, of course, box clever at the top level when the international horses come over. Don't forget, Squealers run really well. Warrior Brave, horses from Britain and Ireland have finished 2nd and 3rd, but Derarin has routed them.
Yeah, and I think that Jabba actually picked up that he thought that the sprint division for the international horses that had come over was very strong. So for him to go and beat them was impressive. I think sometimes it takes a little bit of time for the international horses to acclimatise. They only arrived here on Monday. And it's a long season. But so victory, I guess, in the first race for George Scott, international trained, locally owned for Victorious. But Isla Jura, a beautiful horse. You can see him doing very well throughout the season.
He's got magnificent pedigree. This has been the plan. We were just saying as well, the King's Cup in a few months' time, that's exactly where they're going to want to go. Will mean an awful lot to All Connected. That was a whitewash for the British runners, box to box in second. Lucanda, last year's winner, in third. I think the fourth, fifth, sixth are all British as well. But yeah, the winner's a really nice type to have a look at. He's big, he's strong, he's well bred. There's a future.
There certainly is. And congratulations to Connections and Victorious Racing, His Highness Sheikh Nasser, big supporter of the sport globally. So we then now turn our attention to our next Bahrain Turf Series fixture, which is between Christmas and New Year. I'll be out for that one. It's a conditions race for the middle distance horses and another sprint over 6 furlongs. So catering slightly differently, or something a bit different for the horses then as they look to back up that first run that they've enjoyed here this afternoon. As I said, more horses here, more international horses here than ever before, greater prize money than ever before, and the Bahrain Turf Series kicked off in style here this afternoon.
down slowly. Come back quickly.
So, Nick, we've got another sprint over the 1,000 metres. This one, though, for the local breds. 9 runners lining up in this race. And there in your picture is horse number 9, who is one of a few for trainer Had Ibrahim. Horse number 9 is Magsud, but actually it's her stablemate, Kazama, who is of interest. A horse that won here on International Trophy Day over the 6 furlongs, over the 1,200 metres. That was a domestic grade 3. A horse that's been brilliant for connections. A 5-time winner has Kazama. Abdul Faisal riding for Had Ibrahim. A horse stepping down in trip today, but that shouldn't be a problem. It's horse number 2, Kazama, who I think would be the one to beat in this race.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment, given the way that she did what she did last time. And you look at her profile altogether, she looks coiled and ready for it as she comes past us, number 2, Kazama. Whether it's 1,200 or 1,000, she's got the versatility, she's got that sort of tactical speed to be able to withstand things. That said, having looked to hit a bit of a flat spot in the win last time, when she switched to that far side, she powered to victory. So that was over the 1,200. Maybe that's a slight concern, but hopefully she's got the gears to withstand whatever the test is today.
A horse that's coming here off the back of running over the 1,000 metres is horse number 6, Stylish, who is a horse that was actually running up against the imported horses when we last saw her. That was back at the beginning of December, just a week ago. It was running up against the imported horses. And Mia Childs takes the ride on this one. And she'll be enjoying her first ride out here for trainer Alan Smith. That's horse number 1, Stylish, the mare, who's got 1 victory to her name in the victorious racing colours.
Yep, and continues over the 1,000 metres as per last time. This sort of Blue Snake. Stylish, who was second to Kazama here a couple of starts ago in that key form race, and since finished 4th, as you mentioned, to Vanguard Star here last week. Does look for that first win in a year, but as mentioned, the Yard rattling along in good form.
And I stand corrected, Mia Childs had a winner here last week, so she's done very well in her short time since coming out here. She's on board horse number 6, Stylish.
A couple of the Irish trainers talking about how things went in the 2 turf races, turf series races, I should say. I think Ross O'Sullivan were delighted with how Warrior Brave ran in the previous race, with an eye on the rest of the campaign as well. Seems like the horse is raring to go again back in Bahrain.
Yeah, a horse that perhaps didn't fire on all cylinders here last season, but it was an improved horse and actually wouldn't be the distance that he would prefer. You'd think he'd prefer the 6 furlongs Warrior Brave. So
everyone improves for a return to Bahrain.
Oh, well, a bit of sun on your back. Yep. It's a nice place to be. Horse number 3 is an interesting one, Al Nuaif, a horse that's having his first run here.
Yep.
And his dam, Tarzinia, is the dam of Tashkan, who was a horse that's been running in plenty of group races, Group 1s and Group 2s, finishing up behind the likes of Stradivarius and Kyprios. So an interesting recruit here to Bahrain. Horse Al Nuaif is by slad power, of course, a sprinter, but out of a mare that's produced a very good distance horse.
And the dam sire was a Breeders' Cup Classic winner, so there's licorice all sorts. Something will click. Really interesting runner, though, on first start, Al Nuaif by Slade Power. We get to see the horse on the track for the first time. It's drawn in amongst horses in 4 as well, so should get a good lead into things.
Runners now are arriving at the start for race number 5, the REHC Cups, over 1,000 metres. It's a domestic Grade 2. A couple more haven't got down to the start yet. Garbia and Kasama will be the last two to arrive at the start for this race. Kasama comes here in good form. Kasama won on this day, actually, last year. That was over 1,200 metres. More importantly, I suppose, won last time on International Race Day. Won by 3 1/4 lengths on that afternoon. So Kasama on the form, on the recent form, on all known form, I suppose, is the one to beat here. Number 2, Kasama, coming out of stall number 9. Stalls situated down the centre of the track. So it looks as though the last of the runners are just arriving at the start now. So they're all at the post, at the start for race 5, the REHC Cup, a 1,000-metre race, a domestic Grade 2.
Well, just as the horses then are circling down at the start before this next race, one of the horses has lost his shoe, so that's the delay. Delighted to be having a quick chat with John Chisholm from TEXEL Air, chairman of TEXEL Air. John, thank you very much for your kind sponsorship of the Bahrain Turf Club. What was it that you wanted to be connected with the Turf Club here, and in particular the Turf Series?
I think we just wanted to be part of the changing scene in Bahrain, and I think TEXEL Air, we've always been promoting Bahrain, and I think this is a great opportunity to promote the airline and also be part of a great setup that is here today, and beautiful weather, and the organisation has been tremendous.
Well, lovely to see you here. Thank you very much for your sponsorship as these horses are loading. And then for our 5th race of the afternoon, here's Darren Owen.
Thanks, Ali. So stand by for a start. The last one's going in. Kamari goes into the stalls, into a middle stall. All in, 1,000 metres in front of them, and they're racing. So they go 1,000. Wakia began well. Kamari's right on the pace. To the far side is Magsud, just slotting in behind runners. Not such a bright start for Dalal, who's to the extreme left and just getting outpaced at present as they head down towards the 600-metre marker. And it is Wakia in front, being followed by Kamari, Magsuda. To the right is Kasama, followed by Gabir, and then comes Coiled and Ready. Further back to Stylish and Al Nuwayef, and Dalal just can't go with them. They have 400 metres left to go, and it is Wakia in front. Kamari is giving chase. It's Wakia and Kamari for Alafu Racing. They're being followed by Garbia. Stylish is next. Kasama has not quickened, heading down towards the last 200 metres. Kamari is hung over to the far running rail, followed by Wakia. Down the centre of the course is Stylish, who's now really running on. Over on the far side, Kamari. Here comes Stylish, who's going to hit the line very strongly. Stylish has got there. Stylish, Kamari, they're followed home by Kasama and then Wakia. So on the near side, it was Stylish who hit the line really well. Over on the far side, the far running rail was Kamari, but it looks as though Stylish may have just done enough towards the finish. They were racing wide apart, so it is deceptive. Stylish, number 6, Mia Childs aboard for Victorious Racing. Number 1, Kamari, who just hung right over to that far running rail for Anas Al-Siabi. Let's take a look at the closing stages. The grey Kamari on the far side. Stylish coming home really well on the near side, hitting the line really strongly, and Stylish has got there. Stylish the winner, Kamari back in second. So they are the numbers 6 beating 1, with number 2 Kasama best of the rest in third. So horses there were all over the course in the end, with the second horse just, I suppose, in a way, throwing it away, hanging over to the far running rail. Nice win for the horse number 6, Stylish. Mia Childs in the saddle for Alan Smith, having a great season thus far. That was Stylish's 3rd start of the season. So that's a 2nd, a 4th, and now an all-important win for number 6, Stylish.
Well, let's hear from an absolutely delighted winning jockey, Mia Childs. Mia, this is your 2nd victory in as many weeks, and there's your 2nd victory of your career as well.
Yeah, see, that's my 8th ride altogether. Been very lucky to have Alan Smith back me the whole way from being here. I'm very grateful for him and his team for giving me such a great opportunity out here, and yeah, my 2nd win for my careers.
And what kind of feel did this mare give you?
Oh, fantastic. They're so honest, you know, they're lovely.
Well, look, keep smiling and keep winning. Well done. Congratulations then to our winning jockey, Mia Childs.
Mr. Paul, please, nice to meet you again. Thank you.
So the result of the REHC Cup, race number 5. First, number 6, Stylish. Second, number 1, Kamari. Third, number 2, Kasama. And fourth, number 7, Wakia. The distance is half a length and 4.5 lengths. That's half a length and 4.5 lengths. And the official time of the winning horse, 1 minute 01.11. That's 1 minute 01.11.
Well, let's catch up now with winning trainer Alan Smith. Alan, this horse ran up against the imported horses last week, ran very well. So how confident were you heading into today?
Well, to tell you the truth, I wasn't that confident. There aren't many races for her, and we basically ran her because, because of that. She's a bit high in the handicap. Last year she ran against the imports as well. She finished second. And she ran a pretty decent race last week, but she doesn't overdo it. And she comes home and she eats anything that's put in front of her. So she's a nice filly. And Mia's been riding her out and she gets on well with her. So I wanted to reward her. She won on one of mine last week. So, yeah, she's doing well.
She certainly is doing very well. How long has the association been with you and Mia? And she's obviously come from the UK, but not much experience race riding.
No, she was with George Baker, and she's friends with Lee Newman, and so she came over with Lee in about end of August, and went through the summer a bit, so through the hot weather, and she's a girl. She listens, and she does what you say, and she's really helpful in the stable. So, she's a good apprentice, yeah.
And rode the horse beautifully. Well done then to me, but well done Alan as well. Another victory here, keeping these horses in top fine form. Well done.
Thank you.
So we come to the trophy presentation for our 5th, this is the REHC Cup, and presenting the trophy then on behalf of the club, Sheikh Salman bin Rashid Al Khalifa, High Committee Representative International Racing, and well done to connections of our winner, Stylish, trained by Alan Smith, owned Glorious Racing, and well done to our winning jockey, Mia Childs. Stylish wins the 1,000 metre REHC Cup.
So just to confirm, in race 5 they have weighed in. That result's official. This is race number 6 coming up for the locally bred thoroughbreds over 1,600 metres. Number 1 is Immortal. Gerald Mosse takes the ride. Number 2, Black Shadow and Lee Newman. 3 is Safwa and Ibrahim Nada. 4, December, Jason Watson. 5, Durab and Adnan Jaffa. 6 Midhal, and Raheem Jassim. 7 is Rider on the Storm, Andrew Elliott. Number 8 Tofan and Abdullah Faisal. 9 Safarani, Anas Al-Siabi, and 10 Sinatra and Matthew Pelletan. They are the 10 to go to post. 1600 metres for the locally bred thoroughbreds. It's a handicap.
So let's have a look at the horses in the parade ring for our 6th race. This over 1600 metres for the local breds. And there is horse number 1, Immortal, who has been a regular here, a 5-time winner, 4 connections, owned and bred by Khaled Abdurrahman. Hadi Ibrahim is the trainer. Gerard Mosse takes the ride on this one for the first time. The horse that we saw has been he's run twice this season already. Last seen back on the 24th of November, but in Immortal, a good horse, as I said, 4 connections. That's horse number 1.
Next up is number 2. That is Black Shadow, who represents Alan Smith. He's got a couple in here, a few in here, and he's just had a winner in our previous race as well. Black Shadow, 3 wins already this calendar year. That includes a 1400-metre race win here 2 starts ago. That was a race that actually has worked out pretty well. 3rd to Echo Through Time last time out 2 weeks ago. Didn't run too badly, and you'd expect more of the same today.
Horse number 3, beautiful Dark Bay, is Safwa, a 6-time winner. Another one trained by Hadi Ibrahim. Ibrahim Nada takes the ride on this one in the colours of His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Abdullah Al Khalifa. And a horse who has been out here for a number of years, this mare. Last seen running back on the 24th of November. Many of these horses in this race lined up in that race. And Safwa finished 2nd that time to Echo Through Time. So comes here with every chance, horse number 3, Safwa.
Next up is number 4, and will be an apt winner this month. This is December. There we go, here all day. December, who's got Jason Watson aboard, looking for a first win actually since last December. 2nd to Mediterranean Moon last week. She ran quite well earlier today. The winner was strong that day. 5th start of the season already for December. It's been a busy time of things. It should be hard fit.
Busy time of year for December. Omens are there. Horse number 5 then is Dirab. Adnan Jaffer takes the ride on this Talib Ali trained runner, son of Happy today. And a horse that's also, oh well, this horse we actually haven't seen for over a year, last seen back in November 2022. So comes here off a long break then. Horse number 5, Dirab.
Right, from 5, we're going to drop back to 7. This is a chestnut, Riders on the Storm, or Rider on the Storm, with that white blaze down the face, sheepskin noseband. Rider on the Storm for Andrew Elliott and Alan Smith. Another for that trainer. Very lightly raced horse. Hit the track running by winning back in October, 2 starts ago, and only seen once since then. It was 3rd behind Karina when not beaten that far. Only just gave up 2nd actually in the dying strides, having shown good speed throughout, and I expect Rider on the Storm's going to run well.
Horse number 8, the grey in the race, that is Taufan. Another one for Hadi Ibrahim. You can see Mohammed there giving the leg up to Abdullah Faisal in the familiar colours of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed. Then Abdullah Al Khalifa, and a horse having his first start this season, a 2-time career winner. Finished 2nd behind Safwa when we last saw him back in March. So horse number 8 then, Taufan.
Dropping back, we'll find number 9. That is Zafarani. Zafarani, who's going to break from stall 4. And went down by a very narrow margin here when second last time. That was 2 weeks ago, beaten by Sarem, was beaten only 3/4 of a length. That is certainly something to build on.
And number 10, Sinatra, a horse who is also trained by Alan Smith, looking for more victories here this afternoon, and a horse ridden by Mathieu Pelletin, French jockey based over here with Alan this season, and a horse that ran just last week over the 1600 metres. And didn't last too long then, unsuited rider, so looking to make amends here this afternoon, horse number 10, Sinatra.
The runners going into the starting stalls. Stand by for a start. This is race number 6. Over the mile, 1,600 meters. They're ready to go. And they're racing with Safwa beginning smartly, rather slow to gather stride as Safarani, and just taken back early rider on the Storm. So they link onto the main track, and it is Tofan and Safwa, those two from Dhorab, with right in the mix, Midhal and the grey jacket. Immortals just in behind them and running in 5th place, being chased to the inside by Black Shadow. They move on down the back, December Sinatra, they follow. Then comes Zafarani and a break of a few lengths to rider on the Storm. So that is the running order, and it is Tofan and Safwa. Those two now leave the back straight behind them. They are about a length and a half up on the 3rd place. Dhorab is not settling. Midhal is on the inside running rail, chased by Black Shadow. The pace hasn't been really strong. A midfield sit for Immortal as they leave the back straight. Zafarani's red cap is up along the inside of Sinatra, and then another couple of lengths to December and rider on the Storm. So they're heading now towards the turn in excess of 600 meters left to go, and it is Tofan on the inside running rail. Pale blue jacket alongside is Safwa. Safwa's hit the front now from Tofan. Back in behind these Midhal. Midhal angling to the outside now with a big effort. So here comes Midhal putting it to Safwa. On the wide outside is Black Shadow running down the outer, chased then by Tofan. Sinatra trying to get on terms. It's getting a bit messy. Midhal has hung over to the far running rail, interfered with Safwa. Meanwhile, Black Shadow is on a mission, and Black Shadow now heading towards the last 100 meters, goes on by about a half length. Midhal is now attempting to rally. It is Black Shadow and Midhal. Black Shadow on top, Midhal 2nd place, Safarani 3rd, Sinatra 4, and they were a few lengths on from the others. So victory there goes to Black Shadow. Another one for Alan Smith. Lee Newman aboard for M&E Racing. Number 2, Black Shadow, well on top in the closing stages. 2nd win of the winter campaign for this horse, was 3rd last time. A winner over 1,400 in early November. Came down the outside, hit the front, and went on to win. It got a little bit messy with some of those other horses involved, with Midhal just hanging over to that running rail. But Midhal did try to come back at Black Shadow. But 2, Black Shadow has taken top honours here. 2nd was number 6, Midhal, and they were a few lengths on from Safarani, number 9, who took out 3rd, and Sinatra, number 10, in 4. So provisional placings, numbers in the frame: 2, 6, 9, and 10. 2, 6, 9, and 10.
Well, let's have a word with winner jockey Lee Newman, enjoying his 6th victory this season. It's been good lining up, or been pairing up with Alan Smith, who's in fine form. What kind of feel did this one give you today?
I already won a race with him this season. He was very good. I was a bit disappointed last time he didn't quite finish his race. But he's copping a lot of weight and he did it well today, so I'm happy with him there. It's a good run.
And nice to be, as I said, linking up with Alan Smith, who's in flying form and providing plenty of jockeys for victories. Nice to see Mia also in the winner's enclosure today.
He'll always do that, Alan. Always.
Well done then. Well done to our winning jockey then, Lee Newman. On board Stylish, a regular face in the winner's enclosure here. And nice to see him winning on a big day. Again, Lee Newman then winning on board Black Shadow.
Next week you bring it duplicate. خطوة ورا خطوة ورا.
It was too easy when I first walked up. It's getting a bit hard the last couple of weeks.
The result of race 6, the winner number 2, Black Shadow, second number 6, Midhal, third number 9, Safarani, and fourth number 10, Sinatra. The distances 1 length and 2 1/4 lengths. That's 1 length and 2 1/4 lengths, and the official time of the winning horse 1 minute 40.22. 1 minute 40.22. So we're moving on now to race number 7, and this is the Irish Thoroughbred Marketing Cup, a race confined to the Bahraini apprentice jockeys. We're going over 1,400 metres, and it's a handicap. Number 1 is Mayas and Ahmed Maki. Just note all the various claims that the jockeys are eligible for in this race. Number 2, Kinks, Ali Hussein. 3, Modmin and Abdullah Al Hawaj. 4, Inveigle and Hassan Asghar. 5, Magical Wish, Hassan Ali. Number 6 is Anan and Kasim Jamil, 7 Leith and Mohammed Reda, 8 Notions, Maitam Ahmed, 9 Al Mukhtar Star, Mohammed Jamil, and 10 Win for Glory, Hussein Asghar. So with number 11 Vegas completing the lineup, field of 11 runners. Ali Musa takes the ride aboard Vegas Jack, number 11 on the card. 1400 metres, Bahraini apprentices in action in our 7th race, and they've weighed in for race 6.
No.
Okay, horses for the 7th race, the Irish Thoroughbred Marketing Cup. And it's for the apprentice riders as well. Number 1 is the first that we pick up, Mayas. Who'll break from stall 4, been kept busy already this term. 3 starts this season, winning 2 starts ago. 5th here in the race, ripped apart by a man last time. The winner storming down the near side. He was over on the far side. That was 1,200 metres last time. And now goes that little bit further, another 200 metres to 1,400. While he has plenty of form and winning form at the trip, he's no problem with further as well. So that was number 1. As we work our way, hopefully, through the fields. And here's number 2. This is Kinks, who won 2 starts ago over the distance, just edged out Speed Chance in the finish that day, having crept into the race and had the target to cut down inside the last couple of 100 metres. Showing a good attitude that day, head down where it matters. That was the first win for quite some time and was 3rd here behind the parent last time. Did go 2 years after winning last time before winning again. So hopefully it's not the case for Kinks, who's horse 2. Number 3 is next, that is Modmin, who was 4th in the race here, won by the parent time. Kinks was 3rd that day. Has proved consistent but without winning since the beginning of 2022. Was 3rd to Kinks a couple of starts ago as well. Has held the form pretty well. Number 4, Red Hoods, is Inveigle, who's got the inside draw in stall 1. Mahmoud Jawad, the trainer, was a winner at the start of the year but has struggled since, including on the return to action last time when not beating a rival, 8th of 8. Needs to recapture that early 2023 form. Riding it to board. And they're playing catch-up here after delay before the second of our 2 Turf Series races. Number 5 is Magical Wish, who finished third here last week. That in the race won by Roller Jam, who we saw earlier. Drops 400 metres in the distance today after last week as well, back from 1800s. Number 6 is Anan. Young filly still, only a 3-year-old. She was okay over in Ireland for Joseph O'Brien. Most of her form on the all-weather, and she's already won here on first start up in Bahrain in November. Was down the field here 2 weeks ago. That is Anan, daughter of the Guineas winner. Footsteps in the sand. Number 7 is Layeth. Layeth, who has the highest draw of the lot in 11, back on track now for the first time since March. He used to be quite a talented horse indeed, group class back in the day, in Dubai as well. He was very good in the UK, might just be a little bit regressive at the age of 8, but hopefully runs well. And that is 8. That is Notions, the son of Lope de Vega. First up winner here in October. On account, in effect, though, of being promoted after Royal Scimitar was disqualified. Returns to that winning distance, having contested a 1,200-metre race last time. Seems to generally hold the form all right. Colours of victorious that you'd expect them to win here. They have done so far today, winning the first of the 2 Turf Series race and winner on the undercard as well. Next up is Al Mukhtar Star for Jabba Ramadan, who's been the man of the day. What an outstanding afternoon he's had, winning the second of the turf races and winning as well in one of the undercard races. And Al Mukhtar Star gets back into the winner's enclosure for the first time in 3 seasons last time, or he did. In fairness, though, having had some quite patchy form last season, does seem to have hit some form around this time. So they'll be looking to continue that. Al Mukhtar Star, whose last 3 form figures read 2-2-1. 10's next, Win for Glory. There's a Bahrain newcomer, consistent handicapper in the UK, who won on the turf and the all-weather, and had the versatility to win it between 1,400 and 1,600 in the UK. 6-month absence to overcome, but interesting to see how he acclimatises out here with the rider feet out of the irons there. That is Win for Glory, who's going to break from stall 6. Next up is number 11, Vegas Jack, who was at the rear of the field on Bahrain debut last time. That was a week ago today, and beaten a long way that day. He was a 1,400-metre winner in the UK at Epsom back in August. Still only 9 races in the career. He's got the red hood on for the preliminaries and sold on for 40 grand out of the UK, but will need to improve on just beating 1 home last time, albeit that was over 2,000 metres, quite a different test today.
So this race then is sponsored by the Irish Thoroughbred Marketing, and Jeremy Green, the international rep, is here to present the trophy. And Jeremy, what was it about, or why is it important that the Irish Thoroughbred Marketing is associated with the Bahrain Turf Club?
We've had a link with Bahrain for a number of years now, Ellie. It's a very progressive racing jurisdiction. You only had to see the quality of the international race back 3 weeks ago. It was really, really well contested. Always been proud to be associated with Bahrain, so happy in the ITM race again this time around.
And those that don't know, what is the Irish Thoroughbred Marketing? What are the kind of activities that you get up to?
Yeah, we're parts of Horse Racing Ireland, and if people are interested in buying Irish bred horses or have horses trained in Ireland or bred in Ireland, we just make it easy for them. There's no science to it. It's pretty straightforward. We just look after them if they come over. Hopefully they find a nice horse. They very often do. And yeah, it's real easy stuff.
Plenty of those here today, or plenty?
Yeah, there's one actually running in this race, Anna, and that was trained before by Joseph O'Brien. She's a filly by Footsteps in the Sand. She might run well. But yeah, there's loads of horses in Bahrain with Irish background, so we just want to keep that going.
Well, great to have you here.
Thanks, Ellie. Cheers.
Runners going into the starting stalls now for race 7, the Irish Thoroughbred Marketing Cup, a race for the apprentice jockeys. Just a few more to go into the stalls at the 1400-metre start. Kinks has just loaded. And we're looking now at the last one going in, and that is Annan. Race 7, the Irish Thoroughbred Marketing Cup, over 1400 metres. They're all in. And they're racing with the first away up along the inside, and Notions really taking off. Inveigle second place, black cap of Al Mukhtar Star showing up brightly up along the inner, with a Win for Glory breaking the line for places. On the outside of that one is Annan as they form their early order. Magical Wish is roughly in mid-division. The grey Mayas is next, being chased by Modmin. Leath is some way off the pace, and Vegas Jack is the back marker as they scurry along the side of the track now towards the last 800 metres. So heading now towards the turn into the straight, and as they come to the straight, Inveigle takes over from Notions. Gap then of about 3 or 4 lengths to Kinks is holding on to third. Win for Glory to the outside, white cap, and then comes Al Mukhtar Star as they turn the corner. Magical Wish going via the Cape as they dash down the straight towards the last 400, and it's Inveigle with Notions. Kinks Maroon Sleeves far side. The black cap of Al Mukhtar Star at the 400, and it is Al Mukhtar Star now. Kicks on for home, edges over to the running rail, but takes quite a few lengths out of this field with Win for Glory, Blue Jacket of Modmin down the outside. Those two are definitely closing on Al Mukhtar Star. Al Mukhtar Star now being tackled by Modmin as they face the final 100 metres. It's Modmin joining Al Mukhtar Star. Modmin now nosing to the front. Modmin from Al Mukhtar Star. That's the 1-2. Back in third place, Win for Glory, and best of the rest, Vegas Jack. So it is Modmin who goes on to take the honours of the apprentice jockeys race. Number 3, Modmin. Modmin partnered by Abdullah Al-Hawaj and Khalid Al-Khatri, the successful trainer. Modmin having his third start of the winter season, a couple of placed efforts before coming here today. Really did throw down that big effort because Al-Mukhtar Star really made them go, kicking on early in the straight, but Al-Mukhtar Star just came back to Modmin. Number 3, Modmin, the provisional winner of our 7th race, the Irish Thoroughbred Marketing Cup.
Okay, let's have a word with our winning jockey then, Abdullah Al-Hawaj, and congratulations, Abdullah. You've just arrived back in Bahrain. You've been based over in the UK, and first ride back is a winning one.
It's first ride for me. I just, from few days I back from UK. I was there 5 months, and I ride this horse last year. At the same race, I finished with him third, and I'm happy today I won this with horse.
And you had a good time in the UK, learning a lot?
Yeah, I learned a lot, yeah. I was working with George Baker, and I was going to learn with Mr. John Reed in Oxy House.
Oh, brilliant. So plenty learned this summer with George Baker. And what kind of feel did this one give you today?
They give me a lot.
He was good, wasn't he? Well done.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Enjoy then heading back into the winner's enclosure. Get ready to throw those goggles, because I know the crowd are there looking for them. Victory then to Abdullah Al-Hawaj on Modmin. His first ride back this season. It's a winning one.
The result of the Irish Thoroughbred Marketing Cup. First, number 3, Modmin. The second was number 9, Al Mukhtar Star. Third, number 10, Win for Glory. And the fourth horse home, number 11, Vegas Jack. The distances 3/4 of a length and 2.5 lengths. That's 3/4 of a length and 2.5 lengths. And the winning time, 1 minute 25.15. That's 1 minute 25.15. And that is the result of race 7.
So we come to the trophy presentation for our 7th race. This is the Irish Thoroughbred Marketing Cup. And presenting the trophy on behalf of the sponsor is international representative Jeremy Green. And presenting the trophy to winning connections of Modmin. Well done to trainer Khalid Al-Khatri and to winning jockey Abdullah Al-Hawaj in the colours of HBR Racing. Modmin, the winner of the Irish Thoroughbred Marketing Cup. And thank you to sponsor Jeremy Green alongside Paul Dermody. And victory then goes in our 7th to Modmin.
تعال مني تبين تعال مني تعال تبين تعال
Just to confirm, they have weighed in for race 7. We're on now to the final race of the day, the REHC Cup 8th race, 2,400 metres, longest race on today's card for imported thoroughbreds. It's a handicap. Number 1 is Vegas Sicilia. Jason Watson is aboard. 2, Tall Order, Ibrahim Nada. Number 3, Glenn Savage. Lee Newman looking for a double. Alan Smith, the trainer, looking for a treble associated with Glenn Savage. Alan also saddles Chronograph. Number 4, the Mount of Gerald Mosse. 5 is Bleak and Stefan Lejage. And at number 6, Takaria, Martin Seidel is aboard. He's already had a winner. And Jabba Ramadan, who trains, looking for a treble as well. And number 7, Port Douglas, Marcellus Juris. They are the 7 runners to face the start at 2,400 metres, the journey for our final race of the day.
Runners are in the parade ring for the 8th and final race, and what a spectacular afternoon of racing it's been. Let's see what we bring the curtain down with. About to pick out the runners one by one and start with, appropriately enough, number 1. There's Vega Sicilia for Fawzi Nas and Jason Watson. Fascinating first up run here out in Bahrain, formerly with the Charlton family in the UK, bought out of England for 125,000 guineas at the Tassels July sale. So a long absence. And went into the sales after bolting up at Goodwood in the summer. Connections feeling like they've bought a classic horse out here. We'll see. Number 2 is Tall Order, who looks for a first win since January of 2022. He's probably been consistent enough in defeat, though, on a few occasions. In behind Rayanpur last time out. This might be a slightly more attainable level. Tall Order is the next one. 3 is Glenn Savage. That man, Alan Smith, has had a very good afternoon. Glenn Savage, one of his runners, whose most recent success was in January of this year. Also in that race behind Rayanpur last time, finished 6th. Tall Order was 5th that day and showed the stamina to win here over 2,800. Certainly won't be beaten by too much of a test of stamina should it prove that way. That is 3. Stablemate, that's Chronograph, who's the son of Recorder and goes for the outstanding Gerard Mosse, who's been in to cap off his day with success. Chronograph, who hit the track flying with a first-up win out here. That was the beginning of November. Dominant that day, cruised home, but failed to give that running next time out. Quite what the problem would have been that day, I'm not too sure. Lightly raced horse. Big white blaze, you won't fail to spot him. 5 is Bleak. Welcome to Bahrain. For Bleak, well, it was last week, when finishing 2nd on the first start out here. Was 1 from 6 in the UK for William Haggis. Untried beyond 2,000 metres, so a little bit extra today. Bleak, who was running over 1,400 metres last week. Number 6 is Takarir, who looks for a first win since last December. 4th behind a Roller Jam when last seen. He's very much capable on his best day. So that is 6. And we will finish with the last of them. That is number 7, the extraordinary Port Douglas, who's been a model of longevity, who was running in classic races over a half-decade ago in the UK. The old man in the race at the age of 10, Port Douglas. Ran in the Derby for Aidan O'Brien, one of Beresford Stakes. Needs to return to the winning form of two years ago, 2 starts ago, I should say. And Port Douglas, credit to Connection, sticking about, still with enthusiasm for the game, who gets on with things and makes it a bit of a test from the front. He will be the last of 7 runners when we get eyes on him.
Last one's about to go in. That's Port Douglas for the REHC Cup over 2,400 metres. Final race, they're off. Port Douglas is just being bustled along to go forward with Bleak and Glenn Savage to the inside as they make this dash to the first turn. Between horses is Takaria. Tall Order is to the wide outside on the extreme outer Chronograph as they dash into that first bend. Forming their early order, and it is Port Douglas who makes the running, followed by Takaria, Chronograph, Bleak, and then comes Tall Order in the black and white jacket, and these are being chased by Vega Cecilia and Glenn Savage. So they gallop on down the side of the track. They've got around about 2,000 metres still to go, and it is a Chronograph who's taking on Port Douglas for the overall lead as they go down the side. Those two are being chased by Takaria, just about holding third. Bleak, Tall Order, they are next, followed by Vega Cecilia, and Glenn Savage is whipping in the field as they now head to the last mile. So about to take the turn, 1,600 to go, and Chronograph taken to the lead in the hands of Gerald Mosse as they go on down the back. Chronograph the leader by 2 lengths. Down the side of the course in second, Port Douglas in the blue and yellow colours. Gap then of about a length to Takaria with the Bleak in the blue and yellow jacket to the inside. Tall Order 3 wide now making progress. Last two are Vega Cecilia and Glenn Savage. I think the pace has slowed down a little halfway down the far side. So it is Chronograph in front. Port Douglas second place. There's about a neck between those two. Tall Order, black and white silk, still 3 deep. Bleak just in behind them with Vega Cecilia. Then Takaria. Glenn Savage is the back marker for Lee Newman as they now make the run to the last 800. So in a moment they'll take the turn into the straight, and it is Chronograph in front. Leads by a half length. Port Douglas second. Tall Order to the outer in third. Bleak just in behind them, followed by the white cap of Vega Cecilia. Then Takaria and Glenn Savage. Down the straight inside the last 600 metres. Pace increases. Chronograph's trying to kick for home. Here's Tall Order wanting a slice of the action as they run down towards the last 400. The front two are being followed by Bleak. Glenn Savage is on the running rail. Running now towards the final 300 metres. Chronograph and Tall Order, those two from Glenn Savage on the fence. And then comes Bleak, and Takaria is trying to rally. 200 left to go. It's Chronograph the leader. Chronograph and Gerald Mosse has dictated the fractions here, but Glenn Savage is coming hard now at Chronograph. Glenn Savage has joined Chronograph. It's Glenn Savage from Chronograph. Up to 1-2 for the stable. Alan Smith take a bow, and they're followed by Port Douglas. So it is Glenn Savage who goes on to win. Alan Smith responsible for the first 2 horses home in our final race, the REHC Cup. And Glenn Savage was switched off down the far side by Lee Newman. Came through to tackle Chronograph, who dictated the early fractions for Gerald Mosse. He seemed to slow things down midway down the far side, then kicked again off the final turn. And it was only Glenn Savage who came and mastered Chronograph in the end. 3, Glenn Savage, the winner. It's a treble on the day for the stable. Alan Smith flying high at the moment in the Trainers' Championship. A 1-2 for the yard in our final race. Number 3, Glenn Savage is the provisional winner. Second place, number 4, Chronograph. Port Douglas, number 7, has taken out third, followed by number 2, Tall Order in fourth. They're the provisional numbers, 3, 4, 7 and 2. The result of race 8, the REHC Cup. First, number 3, Glenn Savage. Second, number 4, Chronograph. Third, number 7, Port Douglas. And fourth, number 2, Tall Order. The distances a neck and 2 3/4 lengths. That's a neck and 2 3/4 lengths. And the official time of the winning horse, 2 minutes 37. That's 37.87. 2 minutes 37.87.
So we come to the trophy presentation for our final race, this REHC Cup, and we welcome up again Yusuf Buherji, the Chief Executive Officer of the club, to present the trophy to our winning connections. Well done to Glenn Savage winning this final race, Alan Smith and Lee Newman. So that concludes then our opening fixture as part of the Bahrain Turf Series. 2 races down, 8 to go, Nick, and it's certainly kicked off in style. Isle of Jura and Darien are victories here this afternoon. One apiece in terms of trainers, British trained and locally trained, both locally owned though, so I don't know who's going to claim the victories on there, but some exciting competitive races.
Yeah, I'd say the bragging rights probably just about goes to the visitors. George Scott for Victorious Racing with Isle of Jura. I know he was extremely... I was pleased with obviously the result, but I think you could almost sense that there was a bit of a pressure off given the connections, given how much they paid for the horse, given the plan to get him out here. I don't know if they expected him to win like that. He looked a piece in the parade ring, and wow, he can run.
He certainly can run, and an exciting season then lined out for him. The next Bahrain Turf Series fixture for that Pot B, those middle distance horses, is actually a conditions race, so whatever he gets put up to, he'll be running in that. And then looking forward to next spring, there's obviously Crown Prince's Cup, King's Cups, which are international listed races. So a horse with plenty of talent and a nice plan mapped out for the rest of the season for him. What did you make of Darien in the sprint?
Wow. Jabba Ramadan take about, he won 2 of the 8 races today, including with that particular performer, who, when I was going through the race, I didn't necessarily think was going to be in my top 3, let alone go and win like he did. Stormed down the near side, he was dropping in trip. The trainer suggests that 1,200 metres is going to be more suitable. So the fact that he's got the speed for 1,000 to win like that, if he can repeat that over 1,200, he'll be deadly.
And he'll be back then, I'm sure, at our next Bahrain Turf Series fixture. That is on the 29th of December. So 2 more races then as part of the series that day. I'll be back out for that fixture on the 29th of December. Nick, I know you're going to be back out in the new year.
I will look to bring the weather, and it's just getting a little bit breezier now, but hopefully as still and as warm by the time that I'm back in February, please.
Well, look, thank you very much for watching. Have a safe trip home, and we'll see you on the 29th.